Hey,
Good afternoon, everyone.
good evening.
Yeah, good afternoon, good evening.
Good
Evening,
evening.
Theo.
Well, all I can say is apologies for last week. I was a little bit crook, so unfortunately, I wasn't able to do a broadcast. So, but we're making it up for tonight. Lee's not able to join us tonight and sends his apologies. If anyone's trying to tune in on Lee's, it looks like it hasn't gone live on Lee's channel for some reason. So hopefully you'll find us. But that's fine. We will motor through. Dave don't need any introduction, but good evening, Dave. And
Evening, buddy.
we have
Hi,
got
Dave.
a very special guest, someone that I'm very excited for to have on the show is Theo. I ain't going to try and say your surname. I am actually. De Vliegh. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's what they usually say in England.
Before we get into anything, Theo, I'm just going to play a little clip and then we'll touch on it in a while. So just sit back and watch this, guys.
So we started using RC92 from last year,
Yes.
and we mix it with the pellet food,
Okay.
and also we mix it to the paste food,
Also do your paste that
yeah.
you make yourself.
right?
Yes.
And we feed it for any kind of fish, jumbo tosai to big fish.
Yes. And what do you notice? What is the result?
I think fish eating RC92, the growing speed is faster than not using it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is that because of their, do you know a reason for that?
I think fish tend to eat more amount of food.
Okay. Well, interesting. Yeah, that's all I
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
ask. And I want to thank you for your good care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So before we get into anything on there, Theo, all right. For those people that don't know, Theo is the owner of the new KiGen food range that has been with us, minus the RG92, for a few weeks now. But the RG92 is hopefully, and you put me right if I'm wrong here, Dave, I think by Wednesday next week it'll be on our shelves. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, that's what I've been told. So we can start back filling all them orders.
So we're going to touch on that a little bit later. However, Theo is actually a very well-known hobbyist in his homeland. So Theo, welcome to the show. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for inviting.
I'd like just to ask, to start us off, give us a little bit of a background of who you are and why you have taken a venture into such a minefield of an industry. Let's put it that way, I think.
All right. I'm gonna. It is a minefield, and I knew that before I started. So let's start with the good information. So I started becoming a. Now let's put it like this. Some 25, 26 years ago, I moved to another house, and there was a circular flower thing. And my dad at the time said, "Yeah, you have to make a pond out of that." And I said, "No way, that's not going to happen." And so basically, 6 months later, it turned into a goldfish pond. And then I saw in one of these garden centers some of these koi. I mean, at the time, I wasn't even aware that they were called koi, but they were very colorful. So I put them in, but I knew nothing at the time. So meaning water quality, I had no idea of filtration systems. But so the bad news is these fish, they died quickly, but I think I already got I caught a little bit of the virus then already. and I became a member of the NVN, so a Dutch Koi Society, the Dutch Koi Society, that's going to have their koi show in 2 weeks' time. And I started doing courses about water quality, diseases, and all of that. And I got more and more into, so I rebuilt the pond, made a deeper filtration system, and became more and more involved. And then I made a third change to the pond, and then I moved to another house where I live now. And but the koi scene, the clubs were doing less and less for their members. So only an annual koi show and a koi magazine, but no meetings and pond tours that we used to do. So then some 6.5 years ago, a couple of friends, koi friends from the area where I live, and basically from the south of the Netherlands, so we all knew each other quite well. We said, well, why not start our own koi club and see what happens. So that is now 6.5 years ago, and that became Koi Cave. That is the name of the club, and it turned out that I mean we're very busy with everything, so we see each other very often, and I became the chairman of that club. And as a matter of fact, I stepped down last Sunday, because obviously you can't combine being a chairman of a koi club with being a producer of koi food. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
So I already I stepped down already some 4 or 5 months ago, but now it was official. So there's a new chairman, and take it from there. But I've always been interested in water quality. That for me is my main thing. In the past 15 years, I've read everything, I've seen everything, I've taken courses, I've visited many ponds with problems, because we do that as a club. We help out other members when they have problems. And often it starts with water quality. I think you all agree on that. And that is my main trigger. So when I started building my pond, so there's somebody you all know, I guess, that's Mike Snaden. I met him, not really meeting, but he was in a seminar in the Netherlands some 10, 12 years ago. And he introduced us in the world of RO. And I always thought, I have to do this in one day. I need to, if I'm gonna make my ultimate pond, then I have to run it like that. So that's what happened in the past couple of years. And I've always been, of course, as a hobbyist, I've always been interested in food, in koi food. I mean, and changing food. I've used all the brands. I mean, I also stuck to brands, but I always thought about, what is it precisely that because I'm in my normal life, I have a PPE company. That means we produce flame retardant and arc rated workwear. And our main market actually is the UK. So companies for the likes of National Grid, National Gas, Western Power, 50% of Aberdeen are using our gear. That's called Roots. And the funny thing is that KiGen is Japanese for roots. So Roots became quite successful. So I thought, maybe it helps. a little bit, because I know the koi scene is a different world for sure. But I've always thought, I mean, and I've done it with the other business as well, transparency, honesty, tell the real story. Never bullshit your customer. Never. But having said that, I mean, the reason for starting it is that all sorts of things came together. And it is a bit too much to go into that now, but I got to talk with a guy. His name is René Kruter. He's famous in the Netherlands. And he is a designer of koi foods. So, and he designed some pretty famous koi foods, I must say, some good brands. And I got to talk to him and I said, well, we found each other. I said, can you help me to design a koi food that I think that many hobbyists would like to have? So I brought my experience as a koi keeper to him and wanted koi food that lived up to my expectations as a hobbyist. And these are, I mean, to be frank, I mean, and I think that counts for everybody, whether you buy a koi for 50 quid or 100 or 2,000, all of us want the best experience with their fish. And I believe, as a water quality fanatic, that it's not just your filter system and the flow and the temperature and the bacteria, it is also the food. That's my humble belief. So then I'm the sort of guy that thinks...
And there was a little bit of a push on it. I don't know whether it took off or not. However, I've seen recently there's been quite a lot of... Oh, before getting to that, is congratulations on a new family member for yourself. You are granddad's second time over as last week?
Yeah, and she's called Mabel.
Mabel. Well, congratulations on that. It just popped into my head because I do do a bit of stalking on Facebook and stuff to see what's going on. If you're hosting the show, you've got to have some idea of what's been seen. But I could see that a lot of stuff on the Koi Cave's been going on. And you mentioned that you was the chair. Now, you don't just become a chair of such a big club, because it is a big club, the Koi Cave abroad.
It is.
Right, koi keeping journey. What is your go-to with regards to koi? What sort of koi is your favourite? And what is your biggest current koi? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show people your pond once we've done this.
All right. Okay, so for me, the ultimate koi, the koi, for me, it's a no-brainer, really. It's a kohaku.
Okay.
I think that is especially, so now I'm also in my grower pond, I have some Tosai from Momotaro and the new bloodline. And the journey from growing a koi from Tosai Nisai to 85, 90 cm, that is, but keeping it good. I mean, no shimis, no secondary heat. I mean, that sort of thing. It is the most stressful koi in the series. I mean, in the varieties, that you have a beautiful koi, and then all of a sudden, on a bad day, you see emerging this shimi in the benny, and I mean, it ruins my day, really. But seeing a few of these together in a vat, I mean, it makes my heart tick. That's my take. As an example, when you're so fortunate that you can go to Japan, and whether it's Niigata, for instance, Niigata, and if you go to the Torazo Koi House and you walk in, It's amazing, isn't it?
Well, we all
So that's the biggest koi is a mango karashi. Actually, I bought it from Siebe, and we're gonna measure it in October, and it could very well be somewhere around 1 meter and 2 centimeters now. And it is
still good quality.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there a specific breeder you like to go to, Theo, or are you amongst the few?
No. I think
regardless.
Yes, but so I agree with what you say. I mean, ultimately the koi determines, but what you often see is that people like ourselves, we tend to buy Tosai and Issai. Maybe every now and then a Sansai if you're prepared to pay that sort of money. But then again, so most of the time, and then you see that certain breeders with certain bloodlines, the development of that koi is pretty much determined beforehand. So I would say, I really like the Torazos of today, of the last couple of years. I've 2 Torazo Kohakus in my pond, and the development is awesome until the first shimis come, but it's still not there. Still not there. I like the Matsue Kohaku very much. Love them.
Did you not get shimmies on them?
Well, so far so good. So the Torazos, I used to, I mean, say 7, 8 years ago, when you bought a Torazo, it ended up like, is it English, spotted dick or something? I mean, it was, it was like, I mean, it was just awful. But now, they stay clean for just now for 2 year. So yeah, well, maybe next year they'll come, but so far so good. Come again?
You must run soft water.
I do. Yes. So actually, where I live, the water is quite hard. Well, forget about the quite. So we have a GH of 16. And the Ka, I mean, that's a German hardness. That's that's in pp. What do you call that? ppm. That would be 18 times 18. So it's a lot.
Yeah.
And KH would also be above 100. So, but I have a water softener, and so I bring back the GH to 0. And the KH I reduce by RO.
Yeah, I think you run RO.
So my pH now would be around 7.3.
Okay.
My Ka and my TDS would be around 100. But that's because there's still some GH in. Do you call it GH also?
Yes.
Yeah,
or do you have another name for TH maybe? Total hardness.
No,
yeah.
GH we use it as.
Yeah, TH. So we call that GH, but it's so TH. There's always a little bit in the water, and the KH. Well, I have to block. I mean, I have to preserve my pH that it's not crashing. So all in all, I try to get my TDS below 100, but I think it's a very good water quality. But especially for Kohaku, that to be frank.
Yeah, because
over
here, Matsue in hard water, you tend to bring them shimmies quite probably in the second year. When they're here, you'll start to see shimmies popping up in the second year. So most people with soft water tend to do really well. That's what made me ask.
Yeah.
So. Let's have a look at your pond. Let's have a look at your pond. I've taken the sound out because Theo's put this bit of. Let's share it. And I'll talk as it goes on. Theo's likes a little bit of Eminem, so he's got a bit of Eminem playing in it. So I can't actually play the music because we'll get copyright strike, and I don't want to do that. But this is obviously part 5 of a series, Theo, I'm assuming.
Yeah. So this is 4 years ago. And this is the pond arriving on the motorway to my house.
On the left-hand side of the screen, you'll see a small pond on a truck, followed by a series of other small containers.
Yeah, that's the filter house.
That's your filter house. And one thing that I've noticed, I just cannot. When I seen this earlier, mate, when you sent this over, I obviously downloaded it to have a look. I was like, "What the actual?" I was like, when I first seen the motorway, I was like, "What am I looking at here?" And it took me a while to click when it panned round onto the trucks. I was like, "Geez."
Yeah.
I'll refrain from swearing, but yeah, it began with F, quite a few Fs, to be perfectly honest.
I can totally understand that, and yeah.
What did your neighbours think to this arriving, Theo?
Well, I forgot to ask.
I mean, how many bottom drains from there? 8.
Yeah, there's 8 bottom drains, but it's the piping is 160. So because so the pond as it is 170 depth, 15 by 4 meters. So it's 102 tons, and the filtration system and the pipe all together it's about 120. And I wanted to have it. My flow is 200 tons per hour, and well, for that reason you need a lot of you need big piping and bottom drains that size.
So on your what filters are you running, Theo?
I got 3. So every bottom drain. So there's 3 bottom drains attached to a 80-100 drum. So I have 3 drum filters, and they all come in one big moving bed.
Okay, so you're coming from bottom drain, 3 bottom drains servicing 1 drum, or 1 drum servicing 3 bottom drains. You're pulling through that. All 3 of those drums then going into a large moving bed.
Yes.
Okay. How many pumps?
And how many pumps? So I have 3 pumps that go directly back to the so from the moving bed directly back into the to the pond, and I got 1 with the RO going back in the pond. Jeez. So I got it's like a whirlpool if I want to, but so there's a lot of movement. And that means that there's very good oxygen in the pond.
Are your returns going through the side wall at all, or are you dropping in from the top?
No, it's that. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I was speaking with so as I usually do. So like the food, for instance, I have my ideas, but I need the input from people that actually know. So there was an engineer in Koi Cave on water, what do you call it? So he could actually calculate everything, what would happen with what flow and with the curves, and that's how we did it.
They offer that sort of service as well. They'll calculate all that for you as well, are they?
Yeah, but that's what you need, because if you have so much flow, and you have a moving bed, and if you do not calculate everything properly, you you pull out all the water from your filter.
Yeah.
So, and in my case, it's only going down like 8 cm, and that's it.
Okay.
So it could even go faster, I think, but there's no need for that.
So on your return, you must be going through sidewalls, like back into the pond. Your water returns through the sidewalls on the pond.
No, on the back. So on the rear. Yeah, on the sidewall. Yeah, exactly. Where the table is.
Hang on, let
That's
me
where they
check.
return. And on one place.
So where are we? Are you coming back on this part here, or on this wall?
Yeah, on the right side, on the end where you see the stool and the table.
This one.
Yeah.
So you go one directional flow, right?
Yeah, and the reason for that is, and that worked out perfectly. I mean, that is also like what I said, proof is in the pudding. There's so much flow that you need certain points in your pond where these koi can actually take a break.
Correct.
And if I return everywhere, then there's no room for these koi to get a rest but it's amazing how they sometimes. So if you have these 4 pipes coming out, and that they go like this, it's so relaxing, but you can barely keep your hand over there.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
So that builds the body up on the koi, which is really important. So
this is spot on, Crafty, because the difference with my previous ponds, I mean, although I feed a lot, I mean, it should be something for me because my koi none of them are fat, so they have a very good structure, very good build. Yeah.
It's like over the years we've pushed this sort of design of pond where one directional rather than going on a centrifugal, which is like a toilet bowl.
Yeah.
Having one directional flow. My pond when I built it, I know Lee when he did, because we built our ponds at the same time and we often cross notes. We opted to go back wall and push the flow for that exact reason. So, but I know over in Holland, a lot of people, correct me if I'm wrong, you're more in the know. A lot of people do the gravity return in
most
Holland,
yeah. Yeah. And the one directional, you barely see that. No, it was against most people's opinion. And but I did it anyway. And it works out very good.
Well, I don't think there's anybody that's watching that would say they don't wish they had that pond. Mate, I would love that pond. What an amazing.
To be honest, my wife thinks something else. But
women always do, though.
Yeah, she's not here, so.
Well, it's no coincidence that a lot of the Japanese, when they're building their new houses, are opting for these really long ponds now.
Dave, I mean, what you just said, I mean, when I was at the Sakai farm and I saw their ponds, I sort of, it gave me the feeling, well, you've done right, because this is what they do. Yeah. I mean, and you see it also at Dainichi and other farms. Yeah.
Karina says that pond is absolutely amazing. Clappy hands with star sunglassy emoji.
Thank you.
It is. Rachel says she's glad that her other half Matt has nodded off because he's had too many beers, or he'll be wanting one that size. Rach, when you're ready for that, come and see me. We'll square you away, darling. It's no problem.
So just for them, it's around about 26,000 gallons in our language, Theo.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, well, it is 120,000 liters. So in total. So the pond itself, yeah.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
Question from Will's Koi. He says, "Nice Crocs." We do like Crocs. Crocs are the new man slipper. What did you think of the show when you was over here, Theo? BKKS.
I loved it.
The Koi show. I'll correct myself.
I absolutely loved it. I think, it was my first time. Actually, it's embarrassing to say because I've always followed the English koi scene. I mean, with YouTube and all of that. And as I mentioned, I built a sort of I know it's big, but I built my koi pond according to some of the English ideas with the RO, for instance. But so it was my first time on the koi show, and the atmosphere, and I had some amazing talks. And what I also note, but that could be that I talked to the right persons, but there were many of them. Yeah, people are quite knowledgeable about the hobby, and we had some very interesting talks also about the fish itself. That's why we do it, don't we?
Absolutely. Rick from New Forest. You'll remember Rick, mate. I introduced Rick to you at the show. I'm going to try and get it.
Yeah.
He's going to do a trial with your food next year, I believe. That pond has as much water as one of their big tunnels, which have a dozen ponds in. There's nothing like, mate. If you're going to have one, have a big one for you. That's what they say, mate, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's mate. I think that this gives people an insight as to who you are as a person. Right, you're putting your money where your mouth is. Right, it's very clear that you're not just a blinkered individual that thinks that they're going to gamble a few quid on trying to break into an industry that is, well, like a minefield. Let's face it, it is, because there's so much innovation going on. Everyone's got the next big thing, etc., etc.
Absolutely.
I'm going to move you. Let me just take this away. And thank you for sharing that, by the way. It was really good of you to do so. I think that really puts a foundation in of who you are. You know, you're not Mr. Big Bucks that's coming in to take over the world. You've got vested interest. It's your hobby, and anyone that is going to the extent that they have, and I'm looking to the right because I've still got it on my screen to the right. Anyone that's going in to their garden and going to the lengths that they have, like you have with that sort of water, is somebody that is passionate, and not only about the hobby, but about the whole thing. Let's face it. Why have you moved into an industry of food? What is the main reason behind it, Theo?
I mean, the short answer, and that is, and I know it sounds arrogant as fuck, but I'm not that sort of guy. But the short version is, I thought I can do better.
Okay.
And I believe, although I know it's not cheap what we are selling, but I believe in value for money for every product. Whether it's a phone or a coffee cup or anything, everything. It value for money has to be fair. And I've been in the koi business. Not in the koi business, but as a hobbyist, so long that I had serious doubts about value for money in koi food in general. And I thought, let's just give it a try, my best try, and see how it goes. See where, that's it.
That's fair enough. When did the journey start?
September last year.
Wow. I was expecting it to be a lot earlier than that.
no, I mean, I've been thinking about it, but more like, so then in general, I love the koi world. I mean, I've dozens, maybe a couple of hundred of friends. And when you put 2 or 3 koi hobbyists together, you can have a wonderful evening or a whole afternoon. But it's also a bit of a poisoned world. I mean, in the Netherlands, I think. But still, at the end of the day, I think, yeah, well, if you treat it like any other product and be transparent and try to do it your best, then it might work. And if it's not working, then at least I'll have enough stock for the next couple of years to serve my purpose and some of my friends. Yeah, that's it.
Did you start the journey with RG92 or stumble across that mid-journey?
That is I mean, you're here for the good questions, aren't you, Dave? Well, so when I met René and I told him, I mean, I promised myself that, I mean, I'm not the type of guy, and I never will say that something is the best. I mean, what is the best?
Yeah.
I mean, that is up to the people to decide if something is good or not. If it's value for money, ultimately. But I wanted a koi food that was close to, or as close as possible to, my demands as a koi kichi, as a deranged hobbyist. So I put all of that, and for me, that has always been digestibility of the food. I think that is key. And the number 2, less pollution in the water, because for me, that is something that is my experience. Even with this pond, my limitation is the nitrite. So when I start feeding in the summertime, so I always build it up as it is written in the books.
Yeah.
As it's written in the books is a build up, and I thought, if it's better digestible, and how I tell it to people is, if it goes as a form of energy into the koi, then it doesn't go as waste into your pond, and you have less ammonia and less nitrite and less nitrate. That was the idea. So we designed a range of products, starting with the Tosai, with specific things added. So not just, I mean, LT71 is important, but it's just a fish meal. That's not the food. So we built in several specific things into that for Tosai. For instance, how to support the development of the skeleton. Because one of the things you see when you grow up Tosai fast, well, when the Sansai, then all of a sudden you have a curved koi. And I believe truly that happens in that first year. That's my belief. So, and then we sort of build it up until we got to a food that's called Kinsai. And that has a sort of a all-in, because that's also what I wanted. I didn't want a food for a Benny development or Shiroji development or for health, or for, it has to be all in one food, because why would you buy a health food if you can incorporate it in your food? So that's how we did it. And then somebody in Holland made me aware of RG92. So he was telling me that he was in Japan, and he bought bottles this size. A bottle this size, 20 milliliter. And long story short, it was fluid gold. It's unbelievable what it cost. But yeah, it's Japan koi, so must be So, I mean, must be expensive. So, but I thought, but it intrigued me. So I went. What I do then normally, I go back home and I go behind my computer. I'm going to do desk research, and there's so much you can find nowadays with Google or with AI. And I thought, oh, this could be something. Because if you make a product and it can bring you more than an average product, yeah, then it's helpful. And I thought, this could be something. Let me put it like this. I saw this thing about flounders, that they tested it on flounders and that they sort of decreased the what do you call it? The mortality rate significantly.
Yeah,
the mortality rate. And so anyway, I was so intrigued that I thought I have to go there. So I agreed with a dealer in the Netherlands. Will you tag along and let's go to Japan and go to this company Sarabio that is based in Beppu, in the city of Beppu, to be precise. And he said, okay. And but yeah, traveling to Japan is always fun. I mean, let's be honest, it's not a torture. So, but something really awkward happened. So we were traveling from middle to south. So yeah, well, I still had a koi, also a Sakai, and I thought, yeah, let's go there. And then this guy from RG92, he told us that Sakai was using RG92. And I thought, yeah, that could be a tricky subject because, yeah, maybe they're not quite open about that. But I'm going to ask him anyway. So Kotaro was there, and I just asked him. I said, "Are you using RG92?" And he was so open about. I said, "Can I put it on video?" And that's what he did. And he was so transparent that they were actually using it on their paste and in their pellet food. And I mean, and this is a kind of farm. I mean, you can think, I mean, when you ask me who are your favorite farms, I didn't mention Sakai.
Yeah.
Because it always gives me a bit of a awkward feeling. I mean, the prices that they asked, and I mean, it's. I mean, if you go to most other farms that you feel more welcome as a European, and well, but there's one thing about that farm that makes them stand out above everybody else. Everything they do is measured. So they weigh the koi in the basin 6 times a year. They know exactly which parameters they are using. So when they are telling me that they see more growth from their koi by adding RG92, then for me, that is a fact, because Sakai measures everything. Okay, 2 days later, we were at Sarabio, and I was as reluctant as most people, because in the conversation before we started to go live, I mentioned that I sell flame retardant workwear and arc-rated workwear. That's a sort of workwear, if you wear that, you truly hope that you never have to use it for its purpose. And I'm the sort of guy, I never believe anything until I've seen it measured, documented on paper. QC is everything. So this RG92 story for me, when I heard it, I thought it was a big la land. And but then I started reading about it, and I thought, sounds at least interesting. And then we went to Sarabio the entire day. and we could ask this man, the inventor, everything. And he was so passionate, and he had so much information. It was just scary. And then I knew I'm on the right track. The only thing, because you use so little of that stuff in your food, how do I get this into the food in a way that it's actually ending up in my pellets? And this is what we did together with, the factory is called Speciaal Voedermittelwerk Bischof. And we found a way to do that.
What was the factory called?
Speciaal, yeah, it's a German name. Don't mention the war. Speciaal Voedermittelwerk Bischof. So special feed, mediocre company, something in Bischof. And they can actually do that. But it's and then still I have to see it but I'm starting to become a believer, because we made a first batch that we only sold into the Netherlands, and I have, as I mentioned, I have so many friends that are now starting using the food, and some of them, I mean, I used to be like that, but I'm not nowadays. I have to be honest, I'm still a believer, but I do not measure my water parameters every week.
Yeah.
But I have those guys that actually still do that, and they measure everything. So I get these people that that are using then. We used to call it the Maruja Special. It's now going to be for the UK. It's going to be RG92, because the branding in itself is good enough. And they were actually telling me that they see that their nitrite is less than they had. Well, less, it's gone, as compared to how they had it a year ago. And so I'm becoming cautiously optimistic. I mean, but the proof is in the pudding. I mean, that's a great thing you say in the UK.
Yeah.
Proof is in the pudding, but then again, I start to believe myself that it could be something. Is that an answer, Dave?
Yeah. That's
More than an answer, that, Theo.
Yeah. I can tell you by just listening that you go into so much depth, which is good. It's not just on a whim, shall we say?
No. Go on, Dave. Go on, mate. Sorry.
No, you're all right. Go on.
You go, mate.
No, honestly,
you go. No,
honestly, I was finished then. Go on.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
I'm sorry, mate, if I interrupted.
No, it's fine.
You sure you don't want to go?
Honestly.
Okay. Leave it with me then. The food itself. Okay, so I'll approach the elephant in the room. Unfortunately, in the UK, we're quite a pessimistic bunch. So we like to pick at stuff and say this is no good and that's no good and this is better and that's better, because no one gives anything a chance. And rather than have opinion based on facts or results that have actually been seen, they will pull it apart because something new, like the RG92 algae, which we'll touch on in a bit more detail later. So I've seen numerous posts, a few people on YouTube making comments that I've poo-pooed a couple of. But one thing that I read was that you are a customer of another koi food that is one of probably the closest priced competitors, that also has LT71 fish meal in its ingredient, without saying names, because I don't want to shame the name.
No, but there's no need. Yeah, well, we are producing in the same factory, and it's a factory I just mentioned. But there's also other koi foods. I mean, I know from a Dutch koi food that is being made in that factory already for many years, and nobody bothers them about that.
Okay, so this food, it's people have been told, and this is only hearsay. Okay, so hearsay is, I'm just going to say what we've heard. Apparently, they make your food. This other food make your food. Is it true that another company that produce koi food makes your food, or is it just a factory that is?
It's the same factory.
Companies?
It's the same factory, and they make in total what they told me 260 fish foods, fish feeds, so also for aquaculture. So it is
it's a specialized factory that produces pet food, correct?
Yeah, and it's already like 50 years old, and they've been there for many years. And I mean, to be frank, they couldn't exist from our business and the business of the other brand. I mean, for them, if you give an order for 20 or 30 tons of food, it's one day work. And that I think it's not enough for a factory to to be viable.
If we do a comparison against motor vehicles, okay, so Ford motor vehicles in Dagenham, they make engines for about 5 or 6 different cars. It's all the same engine, but it goes into 5 or 6 different brands: Jaguar, Ford, etc., etc. It's a factory that produces something. Although, be it, your food is a completely different ingredient set to anybody else's food, correct?
Only the LT70. I mean, this is what brought us together. Is that this LT71 is not a fish meal that you come across everywhere. I mean, it's not that everybody uses that same fish meal in their food. So that's the reason. But the rest is, I mean, if you look at the range of products, I mean, it's another range of products. It's not the same.
I've got a special guest to bring in. It's obviously a bit of a surprise to you, Theo. You didn't know this was happening. When I asked him to come on, he was currently scrubbing his balls in the bath. So I'll add him to stage. Here he is, Rick from New Forest.
Evening, Rick.
Hi, Rick.
Are you smelling all rosy there, Rick?
Oh, I'm all clean, mate.
You put your work clothes back on.
I live in them, mate.
I was expecting to see you in the bath then, Rick.
I was tempted, but not that tempted.
I thought it would be good to bring Rick on because he's got some excellent knowledge with regards to, well, I'll say knowledge, experience in ingredients in koi food, which you probably already know because you've spoken to him. And he does some great trials. And Rick's knowledge on this sort of thing probably is more exponential than most people in the UK because we're all lazy fuckers and we just buy pellet like what you produce and feed.
I didn't recognize him because of the color of your hair.
Oh, he was pink.
So, yeah. Just to get back, Rick, welcome along, mate.
Thank you very much
for joining us, dude. Just to go back, so with regard to the factory, with regard to the ingredients, LT71 is used in multiple different foods. Some brands boast it more than others. But you touched on something early on that I thought I'm going to remember this. You mentioned about developing skeletons, right? But then when you move into older, more mature fish, you tend to start seeing a bit of a bend or a bit of a belly or whatever. Explain what you're saying about that, Theo, for us.
Yeah, this is typically what I mentioned earlier is that So I was sort of conveying my message to the food developer, René, the guy I mentioned. So one of the things I know, as a hobbyist, I notice. So I don't know how that is in the UK, but in Netherlands, quite a few hobbyists have grow-up facilities. And what we usually do, we pump up the volume of food. We have a temperature of around 23 to 24 degrees. And then we start feeding the koi. And one of the things that you notice is that some of the koi, they get bent after. I mean, it's not with every koi. So I was talking to René about this, and then he said, yeah, well, the point is that, and I don't know the exact, but I can look that up, the exact name of the ingredients, because there's 2 ingredients actually.
Okay.
That are now responsible for creating so that the skeleton keeps up with the growth. I think it makes a lot of sense.
It does. When you mentioned, I'm going to bring up the KiGen range, Theo. Is that okay to do that now?
Yeah, that's fine.
Right. So, for those people that don't know, this when I started to learn of the KiGen range, one thing for me, and it's well known that I don't get behind another brand because I haven't seen results, but results that I've seen from Rich trials and other people in young koi, the LT71 fish meal tends to do really well. I'm not going to lie on that. However, with my research, when it comes to looking at all of the other ingredients within that food, digestibility become a bit of an issue. I've never shared that because it's up to you guys to work out what's going on. But that's nothing to do with being able to put it on my shelf and sell it, because I too like my fish, and I too want to feed my fish with good food, right? So I've done a bit more research, and I was like, I can't get behind this because I haven't got all toes eye. I'm not growing. I'm not pushing the growth. I've got some bigger fish that actually may not really react too well with an LT71 fish meal. And when I started to look at all of the binders that are within the ingredients, it become very, what's the word I'm looking for? Quite potent to me that very rich ingredients become quite hard digestibles. So when KiGen range come out, and I started to look at, because Theo has put together so much information, and I'm a bit of a data nerd, people don't realise, but I am. I started to get a little bit balls deep into a little bit more of the range and why this range was put together. And it just, for me, was affordability is key, as we know. We'll mention Sakai because it's the benchmark. Everyone wants to achieve what Saki do, but that has got years and years worth of results that are proven. So anyone coming into this game with food, they're up against it immediately. Nutritional have done a fantastic job of marketing into the UK, but I've never got behind it because I've got bigger fish and smaller fish. Right, and for my own reasons, I don't believe that the binders within that are good enough for bigger fish. That is my personal take. However, when KiGen range come out and started to see all of the science behind it, it just got me intrigued. So there is a question I'll bring up in a while from the audience, which was, is there winter food, etc. You can see on screen now, for those of you watching on a big screen, on the phone it'll be a bit hard to read, but look back on a bigger screen. We have got a massive array of foods. Why have you gone in such a massive range, Theo, in the KiGen food? Because most people will have colour, growth, balance, pretty much, or just one food.
Yep. Okay. I would like, before I answer that question, I would like to ask you to bring up this Liebig barrel that I sent you. And then I can... All right. So, as I mentioned, with Koi Cave, we've done many seminars. And one of the seminars, as it happens, we did together with the Koi page. I mean, he sponsored the seminar, and there were like over 100 hobbyists visiting. And there was this guy speaking.
On the actual show soon, Theo.
All right. So, and there was this guy. I don't know. He is Hans, and he's been in the business of developing fish feed, but particularly for aquaculture, for 30 years. And this man, he knew everything. It was amazing. It was mind-boggling. So how many myths he crushed during that morning, koi myths in terms of feed. And one of the things that came along was this Liebig barrel. And what he told us, and that's what you see here and I never forgot this, is that basically a protein consists of let me see the one sec.
Do you understand this, Rick?
The amino acids. Yeah, amino acids.
Yeah.
So it consists of amino acids, and basically what you want is an amino acid like on the right side. But if in general you don't know, and that is in animal feed in general. So if you have a food with proteins where the amino acids are like are configured like on the left side, then you see that the amino acid methionine, I think you call it in English, is not enough in the food. Another typically a thing for koi food is lysine. That's also one of these amino acids that often is not enough in koi food. And what you then do, you add methionine in the koi food, and then you have a better balanced protein. But the difference between the left barrel and the right barrel is that the left barrel will create a lot of waste in your pond and not much energy in your fish, because you can only use the level of the weakest amino acid. So you can understand that if you lift the level of methionine that's on the right barrel, that there's less waste in your pond and more energy goes into your koi.
So you're trying
to match.
You're trying to match I'm not a scientist, but methionine to equal that of the lysine within that protein, and that will create a better amino acid in order for digestion to take place, create less waste.
Yeah, less waste. So it results in a better protein. And
it's also about a balanced diet, isn't it? So it's a food, but it's got to be balanced in terms of amino acids, the proteins, the fat, all the contents.
Yeah, but so what he taught us actually was you cannot just look at the protein. You also have to check the amino acids that actually form the protein. And that makes a lot of a difference. So you can actually see on the KiGen foods that we actually add lysine into the food to bring up the level. Although it is still a very good digestible fish meal. But if your lysine, so if you have a fish meal and the lysine is not good enough, it's still not very good digestible. So you have to add this amino acid extra to the koi food in this case. And then
the slide, Theo, this one.
Yeah, because, and that is for me the big game changer. So when we had this seminar, and you have to understand that this guy, he works for the industry to grow fish in the fastest and cheapest possible way to make them ready for consumption. That's his business. So told us that basically if you have your Liebig barrel right, then it doesn't matter if your koi food is based on soy or if it's based on fish meal. Because if the barrel is right, then you have your maximum digestion anyway. And that is not true. That is not true for the way we do with koi. So, and for that reason, so you see that the LT fish meal, but fish meal in general, that the digestibility is phenomenal. Yep. And the waste in your pond is very low. Whereas
just to break this down for people, down the left-hand side, you've got a score between 1 and 9. 1 being the lowest, which is best for waste, in other words, less waste. Across the bottom, you've got between 1 and 10. 10 being the better in absorption, would that say?
Yeah.
So when you see this on the graph, LT fish meal is not only really good at digesting, but it produces less waste as well.
But this is kind of long term in the fish manufacturing industry wholesale. They've been trying to find a protein source, but obviously soybean protein is seriously hard for fish to digest. It's just not. It's a great protein source, but it's difficult. They can't digest it. It's a lot of it.
Exactly, and it's a great protein source, and it's cheap. And for that reason, you see it in many foods. Yeah. But still, if you have to be sure that your amino acids are correct. So that's why it could be, for instance, Crafty, that the lysine levels of your fish meal were not at the right level, that you still had no good digestion. Could be. Just saying.
Just going to bring this up. LT is low temperature. Correct, Theo?
Yeah.
Correct.
So, LT 71 is just 71 degrees. It's the temperature the fish meal's processed at. It's a lower temperature, keeps more goodness in it.
Yeah.
It's a better product. But you've also got the point of the diet also needs to have other stuff in it.
Like ours does. Just to go back to yours, Will.
It's okay, you go back to the range.
Theo, on my Facebook, I will post this. I can't do it on there. Bear with me. Move over there. I'll post this. This brings up literally everything that we talk about today, all in with everything. So you'll be able to revise it afterwards. I'll put it on my Facebook so people can find it. Right, but that's what got me hooked.
Test next
brochure.
Could you
mind blowing?
Could you bring back the range, Crafty?
Range, yes, mate. There you go.
Yeah. So here we go. So we start with the Tosai with some specifics in it. I mean, things we thought about. I mean, I'm then sort of the messenger, but I'm also the critical hobbyist that wants the best out of his food. I know that if you grow Tosai, most of the times it's inside. So that means in the darkness. I mean, we can still see some light, but if you measure the light, then it's almost night. So you need to protect the Benny, especially if you grow up Showa, then it's even worse. You can actually destroy the Benny. So we made adoptions for that. That's one thing. Another thing that we all notice when we have TOSI, if you start, it's almost a balance, overfeeding, not overfeeding, that you get this murky water. And if you have a good food, then you don't have the murky water. I can tell you from first hand now. So that is the TOSI food. But then, and this is something people ask me a lot on the Koi show, we make this Miori. And if you see Miori, then you see poultry meal and you see fish meal. I mean, I wanted to get away. I mean, poultry was not my first choice, of course. But I wanted to have an affordable food for the normal hobbyist. I mean, I was telling people that, I mean, and you've seen the video, I'm a bit of a daft person, meaning I want the best of, I mean, that's who I am. But if you're a normal hobbyist that feeds his fish like 3, 4, or 5 times a day, that's what many people do. Then I would say, don't waste your money on your KiGen Kinsai food, because this KiGen Kinsai food is made for quick digestion, even quicker. But with the Miori food, you'll be well off if you. So, and that's why I'm saying we are not the same as the other brand. It is another food, and the same with the manju. If you have, so René Kruter, who was developing these recipes, he told. I mean, I've worked with a food of his with only 28% of protein. If you use that during the winter time and early autumn, well, not early autumn, I used the manju until end of May, 28%. But my average koi size is about 80 cm average. And you would be astonished the growth you see during wintertime. It's absolutely amazing. If you see a koi, I have a hood, so it's covered, and the water is only 12 degrees, and I don't feed them a lot, but I still feed them what they eat, and then this manju food. And René, he was telling me, if you have fish like this, Theo, you should feed that all season. Don't do this in the summertime with what I'm using the Kinsai now. But this is because in my mind, I'm so twisted and I think I'm going to miss growth. But I should, with my size of koi, I should be using the manju. So, but I am, because in my mind, it's, 28% protein can never be enough. But it's not true. That's not true.
I'm going to bring this up. So in the brochure, it states here that the Manju Premium Koi Food, it supports the immunity and vitality in cold water, has 50% increase in vitamin and minerals in a premix, helps maintain Beni and Shiroji, has a low protein, high digestible formula. So that goes back to when you look at your Liebig barrel, you're changing the levels in there with regards to ensuring that the digestibility is there, but you're still getting additional aspects of that food into the
because
koi.
You want to prepare your koi for the spring and what's coming, and also you have dark in general. So, and these are all my ideas transformed into a food by somebody that actually knows. So my idea is it's darker periods. Also, when you have your pond covered, then you need some extra in your food for the Beni, and also so that's the reason why we put more of that. And I wanted to say something. Oh yeah, and that is also important. If you look at a food like the manju, then all winter foods have a large content of carbohydrate. I mean, it's inevitable. So, and that's why, and this is also something we are unique So that doesn't make us the same as anybody else. All of our koi food is with millet. And also because it's better digestible, and which is important when it's 12 degrees.
Why? Why is that important, mate?
Yeah, because you don't want the food to stay in the gut too long. I'm always speaking about energy and waste. So if you have your food, try to get as much as possible into the koi in the shape of energy, and you'll end up with less waste in your pond in the form of ammonia. That's the thought behind it.
So really then, the thought behind the whole thing then, Theo, is coming back to the range, is to give not only a little bit of diversity with freedom in what you're feeding your fish, but you if you was to buy the whole range, you're giving people a diet for different periods or different objectives they're trying to achieve.
Yeah, exactly that. So
that's the whole an 80 centimeter fish at 12 degrees. Its dietary requirement is completely different to a 15 centimeter fish at 28 degrees. They're
totally agree.
You can't even put them together. So to have a food,
it's almost if you would be throwing Tosai food into a pond with 12 degrees, you'll be ruining your koi. Maybe eventually killing your koi.
I think, Theo, over the years, one of the main factors you see when you visit a customer's pond, not all ponds, but it's the way the koi have become very fat instead of putting the growth on lengthways. They've just gone really quite bellied. And that's due to, I think, so many of these foods, the protein levels and the absorption levels of all the proteins in there are just so wrong on a lot of the foods.
Yeah, and especially so if you in this period of time, Dave. So I have now my food at 15 times a day, and I'm not telling that all of the food is digested within an hour and 15 minutes. That is ridiculous. But the quicker the better. And that is also what if we go back to the first minute of the live stream, what Kotaro, what he said, it as if the fish eat more. Yeah. Not as if, he said the fish eat more. Why do they eat more? Because it's digested. Yeah. Because at Sakai they want to have the maximum growth of their koi. I mean, we have another discussion if it's good or bad, but that's what they want.
Yeah.
So it increases the digestibility again. And I believe that there is your source for better water quality, is so a better digestibility and a better water quality is sort of a combination. So I'm really looking forward to testing especially the RG92s with Rick, because we already discussed it at the koi show. I mean, yeah, because you also measure everything.
Yeah, everything. That's the whole point. It's not just about weight gain or length gain or pigment development. It's the failures. It's the water. Everything. It's an end product.
Yeah.
So as a business,
yeah,
we can pull the fish out as 100 fish and go, well, they're ruined or they're amazing. That's the difference between a good diet or a bad diet. But yeah, I sometimes think we get a bit too carried away into what's amazing for fish without putting enough kind of roughage and weird and wonderfuls into what a carp would eat normally.
Yeah.
So you create a food that's too good, almost too good, that there isn't the roughage, there isn't the snail shells, there isn't the normal stuff they'd eat in the diet, and we don't know what that does long term. So a fish that goes out to a mud pond comes back, it might come back a bit rough around the edges, but actually it's a stronger, fitter, more vibrant fish for eating sand, snails, stinging nettles, blackberries, whatever it's found naturally as well as the food. So I'm a great advocate of trialing everything, because you don't know. You can create a perfect diet. Humans have got fuel, whatever. You can buy liquid stuff you can eat and live forever, but actually I don't know, I don't want to eat that.
Rick, how quickly can you see when you're raising intensively your tosi, how quickly can you see that going wrong body wise, if you like?
In about 4 weeks you'll see a good food against a bad food, and you'll be like, it's just, that's not, you can't, it's quite quick, to be fair, but they're growing at 2 centimeters a week when you
is that in body shape you see that, Rick?
Normally it's
bellied and
skeletal development, fin development, and body shape, that you just see it quite quickly. And they're obviously missing certain things, or they're not. It's almost it's quantifying what the issue is the problem. So the more people that can develop a food and go, well, we can grow these fish constantly at a centimetre a week, and their body structure is amazing, they look amazing at 6-7 years old, that's phenomenal, isn't it? Growing a fish really quick and then going, well, at a year old it's soft and it's rubbery and it's got a short head and funny fins.
That's true. No, but it's true. No, it's true.
But and that's the difference between intensive rearing and putting them out into a natural environment. If we stick a load of fry into a natural environment, they all come back pretty much strong, straight, robust. They've had everything they needed, but they might not have converted everything they've eaten really well. Whereas in your pond environment, like Theo's talking about, where you want to make sure everything they're eating, you're not getting all the waste, it's completely different. It's a diets are one of those, and we're working on diets at the minute. We've got 4 under trial. We've got another 2 ponds going in for a new trial tomorrow, because I don't know the answers, and I'd love to know the answers.
You need to wear a white coat. You need to be white coat, mate, like a scientist, proper scientist, mate.
Did you know what, mate? Grafty, I went round the other day and I ate all the different. So we got about 12 different diets on the farm.
Have you really?
Because I got fed up with what is going on, and some smell different. So I thought, I'm going to taste them all. So I went and there was one diet that actually tasted all right.
You're one of those food tasters.
Yeah, well, probably not. After a few bevies.
I have to learn that.
But in the taste of a food, we all sort of, in the koi world, you feed the pellet and it's more fish meal, this. But suddenly when you get into the fishing world, you're sold everything that smells great and makes the fish taste. It's a totally different scene.
Yeah.
And you're attracting fish to a food and making them eat it more, to the point of, eat your hook bait when they don't even what they know you're going to. They know that that's not something they should be eating, but they're going, "Oh, that tastes so good, I'm going to eat it anyway." Literally, with chemicals you're putting on, or flavors, or compounds you'll make something so attractive to the fish that they're going to go, "All right, I know it's dangerous to eat that, but I'm going to have a go anyway." And they're all fish.
Yeah, but I mean, and the whole thing is, of course, that you don't. I mean, although a hamburger tastes great, it's not so good to eat it every day, is it?
No, people grow well on them, don't they?
Yeah, I know.
About size.
Yeah,
if it's about,
I know all about it.
This is why the trial is not just about weight gain; it's about length gain and body. Because we can feed a diet, and the fish will gain massive amounts of weight, but actually they don't gain the body structure or the length. They just get fat because they're eating a diet that's tasty and fatty.
Well, this is why it's always been hard to try and adapt anything from the carp world. a lot of people, you know, say, can I feed boilies and things like that? But, you know, their main ingredient is just to get this carp as fat and as big as and as quick as possible, isn't it, for the weight?
There's a lot of poultry meal in there as well, isn't there?
Yeah.
Most carp foods basically soya based, egg based, and maize based. That's your main. But you look at someone like Euroaqua, they can grow 100-pound carp mostly on maize.
Maize, by sticking about 5 ton a day.
A lot of it.
Water source that doesn't really care for.
They take a boat out every day with about them 50-gallon drums full of them, don't they?
So this is why doing like the food trials, feeding them. Everyone buys the food and they chuck if you've got good water and good fish, you can pretty much chuck any food at them and they go mad, don't they?
Yeah.
But until you've got multiple tanks identical and you can actually record how much they want to eat, how long they want to eat for, how much length they're gaining, and how good they look. That's where you start seeing a good diet against a poor diet, and it is quite eye-opening. The difference is massive.
Yeah.
So, and this is why I'm excited to be trying some of Theo's RG92 and all the rest of it. Would be
I'm just going to.
I mean,
before we get on the RG92 thing, right? I'm a bit of an AI nerd, right? I do quite a lot. So part of what I do with ChatGPT is I've set chat up to scour the internet every week to then bring me topics with regards to koi feed, etc. Because I'm a bit of a weirdo like that, right? How's this one look? So this pinged up this morning. Fish scale meal may improve metallic luster and skin brightness.
And where are you going to get the diet from?
Right, but this is actually done. So this link here, right, is a study that has actually been done and it's been produced into feed. So it's early stages. I've looked into it, but again, it just shows that they're constantly searching for additives to make fish look better, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But a lot of the stuff that can make fish look better is there. We've got access to it. People don't do it. So like Theo's gone out and gone, the food's not good enough. I'm going to make a better food. We buy our fry diets and then I add stuff to them because I don't think they're good enough. I'm not marketing it. I'm not selling it to anyone else, but I just think that is not right for our situation. They need a different diet and I can't buy it. So I've got to buy a diet and then add to the diet.
What do you tell people what you add, Rick?
Yeah, I mean, well, the Munger mix uses like 17, 18 different ingredients. That's for older fish, but for the young stuff, we have to put more like roughage, more seed meal, more linseed, more crushed natural stuff back into those high protein, refined diets that are designed that they're great, but they only work in the perfect environment. And as the perfect environment doesn't exist in a polytunnel when the sun's out one day or not out another day, so you've got to find something that works for your scenario. And I'm a great believer in adding stuff and giving them more varied food, and I'll deal with the extra waste rather than going down almost that clinical route of this is perfect at 25 degrees at perfect water quality, but it's not perfect when you've got slightly varied sizes of fish, you've got slightly varied temperatures, you've got the real world scenario is different to what a lab setup might be. So yeah, I'm advocate for all of it, everything, every different ingredient. You can put everything you can find because there's stuff out there. People still, absolutely. My old lecturers from college used to go, well, the colour enhancers don't work, do they? I'm like, well, yeah, of course they do.
Yes, they do, yeah.
Of course they do. Look at this batch of fish, look at this batch. Of course they do. Oh, they do look different. But it takes time, and you've got, unless you do a study against each other to prove a difference, then you'll always have naysayers or whatever. The thing I want to ask Theo is the amount of RG92 in the food is that the optimal amount, or is that just the amount you can put in for the price point?
No, no, it's the optimal amount. So this is the main question that I asked the developer of the RG92, because it is, if you have 20 mil of the product, but you need, obviously you need more, but it's like liquid gold, literally. So the weight is as if it's gold. Yeah, it's not like gold, but it comes pretty close. I have to be honest. So you only have to use a very small amount, but it's also these are literally billions of algae in 20 mil, and you barely see them. So no, it's only a very small amount.
But that's enough.
It's to get literally.
That's enough to get the effect. It's the same as like a probiotic or a prebiotic, whatever. So
it's the same. It's the same amount. It's the same amount that they were using with the flounders that they did the testing with. So where they increased, they decreased the mortality rate and they increased the number of flounders. Actually, they lowered so the time to grow the flounder went from 8 to 7 weeks, or from 6 to 5 or something. So it's so we follow that.
I've watched the video. I've watched a few of them because it's one of those things. It's a product that, of course, I'm all over trying it, and then you got to work out where. So about 10, 15 years ago, like yeast, there was a yeast product that came out that was like, this is the best product for stimulating the immune system to getting fish ready for a stressful environment, or whatever.
The funny thing about RG92 is that it was totally not developed for koi at all. So this man, he started this product for us, for humans, for health, and it was like a journey for him, and they use it now in all sorts of manners, and it ended up in koi food at Sakai and some others. So in October, I'm going to meet some other breeders that are using it. Yeah, I'm going to share that in October when I'm there. So other breeders are using.
The white paper you're referring to, Theo, like I said, I've done my own research. AI is great at finding stuff for you. And rather than reading the actual white paper, which I'm downloading there, but that white paper that you see me just bring up, that is the report. But what I asked AI to do was pull out and summarize RG92 and the findings. Right, so what you see there, although it is in flounder, like I said before, fish are fish in my opinion, right? And when you're actually starting to see, from study 1 that was conducted on over 274 days, the controlled final weight was 687 grams. RG's final weight, 1,021 grams, and seen an improvement of growth by 49%. You know, if we can start putting that sort of thing into koi, and I think that Sakai said earlier, it's like the fish want to eat more, and we know that more food equals more growth. As long as the pellet itself has got the right roughage, as Brick was calling it, to allow for that digestibility and lack of waste in the water, that I suppose is what Theo's trying to achieve. But then when you look at the survival rates, massively increased. Massively.
Yeah,
right?
That is why the inventor, I call him, why he was actually telling me you should start with your Tosai, and actually the sooner the better, because we are speaking, we are koi keepers, we are koi hobbyists, and a general koi hobbyist wants more growth and all of that. But his emphasis was on health. But I don't want to make any health claims and all. I mean, I just don't want to. I mean,
go on.
Let's see what happens. No, but let's see what happens. I mean,
going on the white paper, mate, and just to read the headers, they come across an enhanced immune function, increased mucus production, improved fat what's that word say, Rick? Metabolism.
Metabolism.
And why researchers think it works? It contains unusual high levels of so much stuff. And again, when you look at the conversion rate of weight in what that study found, and they had,
stunning.
If my memory serves me correctly, it was brought into somewhere that wasn't producing very well and had a massively high death rate in each spawn through what it was producing. And that pretty much, from what I can understand reading the paper, it pretty much eradicated a majority of them issues, which goes back to the health part, doesn't it?
It does.
But you know how if a koi is raised in good water with good food, it's a stronger thing, in it. It's a strong. You get a batch of fish that have had issues. You know they're going to be a pain in the ass because they're weak through whatever point in their life that has made them weak. Every animal's the same, isn't it? If it's had all of the right things at all of the right times, it's a more robust, strong individual. But yeah, I want to try it. I want to see it. It's one of them, isn't it?
Agreed. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I mean, 92, improve feed, increase mucus, enhance immune, and possible gut microbiome benefits, which actually is very similar to what Saki produce in their secret germ, although it works differently, which creates that hunger. You know, for me, I think that's.
It's not a secret germ.
It might seem too good to be true, right?
The bacteria they use is painted, but you can get the same stuff. It's difficult.
It's understanding what it does, Rick, that counts, isn't it?
Yeah, that's good.
Theo, have you got a patent on RG92 being put in foods?
For Europe.
So
for the European market. It's no patent, but it's an exclusive.
So nobody else can do what you're doing?
No.
Not in Europe, anyway.
No.
On a mass production scale, you can buy RG92 yourself and put it in your koi foods, but just buy Theo's.
Yeah, food. That's the whole thing. I thought so. That was my thinking. So I'm not going to share that now. That's going to be in next year's spring. So I'm already thinking about another ingredient to put into the koi food, but that's for the next. No, but that's for next year. So, but let me put it like this: no, but it's got to do with sumi. That's all I can tell. Not on your kahaku, but then primarily on your hopefully not on your kahaku, because then it's wrong. But no, okay, but so we are thinking about other things, but. No, RG92 we have exclusive for Europe, and of course, and the reason why I was thinking to put it into the pellet, into the food, is, how do you put that into? I mean, it's just not working. I mean, maybe at Sakai with their paste, I believe that will do.
But to be fair, I create a liquid additive that I put onto the food, and obviously let the food absorb it and then feed it. So it's a pain in the ass because you can't put it in feeders because it's moisture.
Yeah,
you can't. But for feeding my,
and one for me, Rick, my main question, of course, there was been many, but the main thing, if you extrude koi food, it's gonna be for a period of time of 3 minutes, so it's 90 degrees, and if you then kill your algae, then it's worth nothing. But it comes from hot water springs. And that's what he told us, I mean, quite clearly. there's no worry at all. So that's why we did it. Otherwise, we wouldn't have done it.
You mentioned something to me at the show, Theo, when we was talking about how much water is required in order to produce a certain amount of RG.
20 mil, yeah, 47,000 square meters of water. So it's a lot of water.
Let's just grow koi in the water and suck the algae off.
Yeah.
Just throw the fish in there and that'll be done.
Yeah, yep. But it's their, I mean, it's their information. They are sharing it. I mean, you know, I had this brochure made, and it's in their information. So,
I mean, I can't even get my head around how much of an expanse of water that is to get such a small amount of product.
but also, if you see the size of RG92 compared with, for instance, chlorella, it's so small. It's 2 to 3 you can't see it. You can't see it. So it's an incredible product.
Like the Emperor's clothes, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, also the story that he told us. I mean, this guy, he's a scientist, a true scientist, and he read an article about that in Italy there's also hot water springs somewhere. That the Italians sent soldiers with injuries that couldn't heal, wounds, to these hot water springs to have that healed. And he thought, well, I'm from Beppu, and there's hundreds of hot water springs here. And then he brought in a professor from Oxford, a specialist in something that he couldn't do himself. And then at the 92nd hot spring, they discovered this algae. That's the story how they did it.
That's how.
And if it's a wonder algae, or I mean, if it's turning out to be a hype or anything, maybe. But for now, I believe it could potentially be a game changer. But we'll see.
And I think, like I said earlier, Theo, it's like it's good to get somebody that is part of the creation behind a brand. Look, so many people don't do what you're doing now, which is you're at the end of a spear to everybody. Like I said earlier, a lot of us poo-poo stuff before they even try it, right? But even you say, right, from science is science. And as much as people say they don't agree with it, science puts rubber on your car, to keep it stuck to a road so you don't, science does that. If you can believe in that, you've got to believe in whatever scientists are doing, right? And if there's studies that have produced good results and it is put into white paper and signed off as this is all we changed, then for me, he's got to do something. Let's just hope that the results provide what the science tells us. Otherwise, we'll all, me sitting here will look a twat.
I totally agree. I mean, you don't want to pay for something that's not working, is it? So
no, but at the end of the day, I think that even your transparency say, look, let's see what the results bring, because ultimately, we've seen it with other foods in the past. The difference is now from when other foods have been out there, we've got platforms like YouTube, a phone in a hand talking about stuff all the time. And a lot of people read bad news and love bad news, right? So they'll jump on that bandwagon. So
but it's true. But at the same time, you told me about how you perceive, and you're English, so But in general, no, but it's true. But in England, in general, I think people are ultimately always perceptive. They always, that's my experience in my flame retardant work, where they are always open to listen to your story. And after that, it's either going to work or not. But other countries are less open to even listen to a story. So yeah,
the proof will be
and
in
I'm
the pudding.
quite confident. Yeah, agree. And I think the in general the UK koi hobbyists are quite mature as compared to other countries. And
I don't know about
I mean,
that.
I don't think you're gonna trick
Boring
anybody. No, but
mentality.
you're not gonna trick anybody into a shit product. That's not gonna happen. I don't believe that.
Well, I've got a few questions that the guys have been firing in. I'm not going to ignore them. I just bided me time, and I think now's a good time just to bring up. Dave Thompson has asked this question about 1 million times. So, is there a winter food, Theo? And I think we covered it anyway, didn't we?
I know a Dave Thompson from Aberdeen, but he's definitely not this guy. No. Yeah, there is a winter food, and it is the manju. And I will also share, but that's my belief, also because I'm doing this now for. I still keep feeding in the wintertime. So, but your water temperature needs to be okay. So I would say above 8 degrees, and you have to adjust your feeding to the temperature. But the manju is a phenomenal good koi food for the wintertime, but also keep feeding that until I would say end of May. So your koi are not ready yet for these high proteins and all of that. So do that later, and it's better.
There you go, mate. I've answered your question. Thank you for being patient. Martin KCF says, good evening, everyone. Good evening. I look forward to hearing more about the KiGen, which is, we've done some of. He's considering trying it out on the grow next year. So I would say keep your ear to the floor, because I think that there's going to be quite a lot of people feeding back on, and you want that, Theo, right? You want that feedback, right?
I've asked that on the koi show. All the people that actually bought a couple of bags to take it home, we're gonna open up a blog on the website, and people are more than welcome. I'm even invite them to share their experiences.
Can you share that link with me, Theo, and I will?
Yeah, I will. I will definitely, and I know for sure that my web designer is also listening, because the blog is not there yet. So
pull your finger out. Come on,
Glenn. When you're listening, end of next week has to be ready. In English, please.
No pressure.
No pressure, Glenn. Love you.
Question for Dave from Le Mans Koi Fly Fishing. Are you still selling your size tapes for the bowls, Dave?
Yes, mate. They're in stock on the website.
There you go, mate. 20% Dave commission on that. Thank you. Karina Wright. I had a good conversation with Karina at the show, actually, Theo. He bought some KiGen from myself. Pondy's doing brilliant on it. Growth condition, water quality. I bobbed a video to KiGen page when popped, I think that was supposed to say, to the KiGen page. We'll be stocking up at Newark. Dave, make sure you take some, because I'm not trading at Newark. Really happy with the results so far. So people that have bought from myself, that while we're waiting the RG92, Colin Holland, I'm surprised he ain't putting up an earning. Might be on the beer. He tends to get a bit aggro when he's on the beer. So I've banned him from making comments. Colin. He has been feeding it now, Theo, since it hit UK shores. One difference that we've seen from the feed that he was on to what he is now, the water clarity has massively improved.
Yeah. So, that's what you hear from many people.
There's another question there. Just tuned in. When feeding the RG32, well, it's RG92.
It's a new product. Come on.
Yeah, that was quick. It's a new one.
Yeah, it's a third of the price.
Do you need to add a color food as well?
Excellent question. No, because that's integrated in the food already, both for Shiroji and Benny.
Right. Theo, would you do your winter food and mix coming into spring, summer temperatures? Do you do a mix at all?
I don't, but I can totally understand that people do.
Right.
I can totally understand that you do that.
Yeah.
In a period of 4 weeks or something, that you
just wean them off one and into another one. By
it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alan Tate says, "Sorry, missed you at the show, Theo. Would have enjoyed a chat. Are you coming back to the UK at any point in the future, Theo?"
Absolutely. So I am. So it's arson. I was going to say arson, but it's appeltern nowadays. So that is 15 and 16 in the Netherlands, and I'll be at the Great British 29th and 30th at the SKS stand.
Oh, right.
And all you people, I love to meet you, and also the critics. Please come and we'll have a chat.
There you go. That is an invite, but no blades.
No, bring a beer.
No blade. No. Because when you bring a blade, I bring a gun.
Alan, if you're still listening, rather than
I would like to go to Rick's place to deliver you the Tosai food, because you made me very, very curious.
Perfect. Free delivery. I love that. It's even better, isn't it? God.
Yeah.
Mate, you got to pay for his flight.
Only once.
So Alan Tate is the chairperson of the UK judges. Mate, he's got an exceptional knowledge. He's a friend of the show, friend of Rick as well. He does a lot with Rick.
Well, hope to meet you soon.
Dave Thompson asked again, is there a winter food or all season? We've covered that one.
Yeah.
Rachel asked, how long roughly would you expect the RG food to start showing the benefits to fish and pond in general?
Ooh.
That's a very good question. That's a tough question.
It's a good question, and I don't have the answer because I don't have the experience yet. So what I can tell is that the people that are using this in the Netherlands now, they see the difference in 3-4 months.
Okay. So that obviously goes down to the amount of food you're doing, what your water parameters are, etc. as well, doesn't it? So
that is. Can I tell you a bit about that? About KiGen? You can. I mean, you hear Sakai, you hear him say the koi eat more. For him, that is important because there will be more growth. So against Momotaro with the new bloodline and all of that is important. For us, we also, like Rick mentioned, when the koi is 7, 8, 9 years old, you also want to enjoy your koi. So what we see is that you can feed less with the KiGen because it's better digestible than what you normally do and get the same results or better.
Better is what we want.
Better is what we want.
Rick, what would you expect in where would you put that bar for expecting to see results based on what you do?
It depends on how bad the food is you're using previously.
Okay, so let's go.
That's a good one.
Let's go with based again. All right, if you was to put it up against
peaches and
whoever
cream
won your last trial, Dainichi Koi Food, right?
I think it was the Dainichi, the FD Dainichi food's good quality food. So if you're willing to pay 330 quid a bag, actually it's a lot cheaper now, but at the time it was.
Yeah.
I think it would take quite a while to see a difference, and it would be difficult. The problem with if you've got one pond to see a difference is so difficult because as you go for a season, you get differences anyway, don't you, between the amount of sunlight, the way everything's working. It's not until you run multiple ponds alongside each other And what springs to my mind is a couple of years ago, I had 2 ponds side by side with my best fish in. And I'm like, right, I'm just going to use Sake Akari colour in one and our spirulina, Coppens dart, or whatever in the other. This is it. I'm just going to do. And after 5 weeks, I pulled the plug on it. I just couldn't bear to see how good one lot looked and how bad the other. And they weren't bad. They were doing well, but they just weren't. They weren't doing.
So Saki wasn't winning the race in that one then.
Yeah, Saki was smashing it to the point of I can't cope seeing that difference between my fish. But if you looked at one pond on its own, you'd be like, oh, they're great, they're feeding well, they look good, they're doing all right. But then you look at the other pond and go, well, they're 3 months older. They're better in every development process. They're better, and you think, well, actually, they're the same fish.
And I also believe, I mean, as hobbyists, I mean, most of the koi hobbyists are in a way also quite fanatic, and you spend many hours at your pond. You can see a difference quite quickly in the way your koi are behaving and the shine on your koi, for instance, the coloring. I've been running some tests with something, and I see the slightest difference in. I mean, I think all hobbyists have that.
Yeah.
So,
but when you've got a comparison side by side, I mean, when you see Rick's trials, where is the results of your trial, Rick? Is that on the New Forest Koi?
Behave. No. Stash. So maybe on one of the YouTube ones, but yeah. So already they're way ahead this year, but we've had a hot summer. We started earlier, so it's not scientifically. Even the ponds and the fish and the weight are the same. The world's played its part in it, and it's different this year to last year. So we'll have to work a way of getting that time scale and whatever in. But yeah, so.
But when you go back to your last trial, Rick, right? When you pulled those ponds up, there was a night and day difference between two different foods. When you looked at like the Chinese food that you used versus the Dainichi food, the color in those fish was by far better than what the Dainichi ones was.
Well, the Chinese food was phenomenal for the skin and the color, but the growth was
crap,
way off, just like different.
Was crap, wasn't it? But, so that's where you see the biggest difference. Because if you're just doing like that Chinese food on its own, the color looks amazing. But when you're doing it side by side, and you see that you've got more growth, a lot more growth, you're never going to be able to do a comparison without having those two next to each other, are you?
No, and that's where you obviously. A fish farm that might know what they expect from fish and then change the dart would see a difference. Obviously, to see them side by side is brilliant because you can just see the appetite, the weight gain, the length gain, everything that's going on, or the mortalities. So we've had more mortalities in one pond. And
in one particular pond?
Yeah, and they're feeding really well and they're just getting too fat. Because obviously if you're feeding 100 fish to what they'll take, there's obviously fish that take more than others, and then push themselves to a point where
they're bloated.
It's too much, and the food is not. It's not right, is it? That suddenly you've got fish actually dying. But this is the whole point of doing it side by side, isn't it?
Have you had worse growth rates this year, Rick, due to the?
I've not finished. I can't say that yet because I've not finished until you get them out and go through the whole process.
Well, I wondered if you've lost many days of not being able to feed what you would maybe like last year due to these temperatures.
Yeah, I've lost 15 days this year of not being able to feed. It's too hot.
15 days, yeah, which is quite a lot.
Yours is about the same though, Dave, right?
Yeah. I couldn't. The fish that I was growing in our polytunnel are nowhere near what we were getting last year because just couldn't feed.
That'll be me next year. Can't wait.
But that's where you've got. So I don't think we've lost length or because they're still even growing even when you're not feeding, because they've got so much sort of reserves, and
they're
putting the length on and the bone structure's better, and then the weight will come back on when the temperatures drop a bit. But we'll balance out in time the amount of times they've been fed over the amount of periods. You can have 4 10-ton ponds with 4 identical filtration systems and 4 the weight of the fish and the mix of the fish, but it's still, there's variables that it's not perfect. So you can just draw a broad line, and as a fish farmer, you feed fish every day and you go, well, they're doing better, they want more food, they're happy, they're not so happy. You see the structure different. You see fish getting fat, you see another pond eating more and looking almost thinner, and you go, wow, they're growing nicely in one way and other fish are growing in the wrong way. And that's the whole point of it. And we'll do it again next year with another. So we'll have 12, 16 diets given not identical but similar scenarios, and you can start working out what the costs, the development, the process, the whole thing. We don't sell them, so it's not like we're saying promoting this food because we sell it. It's just literally this is what happens, and take that as you want to take it. I don't know. I don't know
So
what I do.
You got that's the scrutiny that you got lined up for you.
It's not scrutiny, it's just literally
love it.
It will be scrutiny, won't it?
No, but that's good.
Yeah.
No, but that's good.
Yeah, mate. I'm all for that, mate. You know, you learn from it. Wayne Margetson asks, as an independent, was you put off by the big guns who have done it for years?
Good question.
Yes.
And an honest answer.
Yeah.
So it obviously give you sleepless nights and anxiety, but you said, fuck this, I'm doing it anyway.
That sounds quite right. That's it. No 100%. Yeah. Actually, it sort of helps. But I've had in the notes, yes.
I'm going to tell me to mind my own business, Theo. Right, it's quite a personal, business-related question. How much money does it take to get a product like this off the ground?
Fucking hell. Too much. I mean, no, really. I mean, so either you do it good or you don't do it at all. That's how I feel things. So yeah, it's serious money. I mean that's all I'm gonna say. And to be frank, I mean, maybe no, it's never a waste of money because it's quite all right, and I feel quite confident to be honest. But yeah, I mean, I've always been in what I do for the challenge, and the challenge that makes it worthwhile. So when we started flame retardant workwear, just a small story, I discovered, so I'm going back now more than 20 years, so and I'm speaking now Aberdeen offshore, that there were European rules. I mean, they were basically all over, also applying for the UK. And these rules told you that the flame retardancy of a garment was guaranteed for 5 cycles of washing. 5 cycles of washing. So you work on a drilling rig and your shift is for 28 days or 21 or 24, whatever. Your coverall is washed every day. And after 5 days of washing, your flame retardancy is gone. Because that is the European rule. And then I thought, at that time, I can do that better. So let's lift that to 50. And start blowing up things. So in the UK, you have a club called British Textiles, and they have this mannequin doll. And on this mannequin, you put on a coverall, and then you wash it 5 cycles, and you start burning the thing, and you get results of burn wounds. If you would be working on a drilling rig with a coverall like that, you'll be dead. So with a safety product. And that's how we started our journey, by going against stream. Going against stream with a genuine, real, true story. And then also all the big guns were against us, but now we are the number 1 and 2 brand in the North Sea, because we kept going with this honest story. And basically, I'm going to do the same thing with Koi Food. So I don't care what anybody tells, as long as I'm convinced that I'm not telling a bullshit story. But then again, we have to wait for the future. Yeah, but that's it. No.
And I'm glad that you said that, mate, because one thing that I want to say is that people have to remember that somebody has put money into a product. They've put time, blood, sweat, tears in to try and bring a new product into the market, and people can poo-poo a product before they've even tried it and create the wrong sort of hype that's not necessary.
Yeah, and also for instance, I mean, I've that's when you're old. I'm 64, so I've seen a lot in my life. So people say, so for instance, on these forums, it's all about the money, it's all about margin, it's all about the big profits. But for instance, supply chain. I strongly believe, I've always done that, you have to supply through distributors that actually want to share your belief. So, for instance, if the guys like yourselves, like Dave and yourself are crafty, you have a business, you have to put in stock, you have to pay for energy, you have to pay for water, you have to pay for so without a margin, you cannot exist.
Correct.
But I believe that you have to have dedicated distributors to sell your products locally. So if it's only a web shop, that's not my take on things. Never was. I think you should have distributors, and a distributor never works for air. They need a profit, but an honest profitability. No worries about that. But I never started this for the money. Never.
I mean, in honesty, mate, the margin, it's important, but I'll say this openly, and I'm transparent. There's never enough margin in koi food. But the amount of time it sits on a shelf, taking up space in a shop, right? And the amount of effort, like Dave, you've done your own flyers, haven't you? That that are going out to advertise a product. That is done off of our back, because we too invest in products to bring to people. And
exactly.
Everybody in business, right? And for me, I just wish sometimes people take a little step back and realise that not so much us, but people like you, Theo, that actually the koi hobbyists have got to say thank you to, because you're the one putting your neck on the line. You're the one that's putting your own money into it. And ultimately,
well, it's giving everybody another option. It's giving everybody another option.
If it turns
and
out
if you don't want to buy it, then buy something else.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a free world.
Yeah.
But if it turns out to be the next big thing, Theo, right, then you've brought something great to the koi world that we can all benefit from. And then
that's what I hope.
Well, I wouldn't have seen any point in bringing out a food to compete with. No disrespect, but for the cheap brands, what's the point? I mean, I think it's actually quite good to have something out that can challenge what we all deem to be up there with the best food. And if it turns out as good, better, then the winner is the hobbyist.
Think so too.
Yeah.
I think so too. It's a good summary, Dave.
Yeah, I think there's only one winner. It can be the hobbyist. I mean, yes, it's. I think in life, nothing suits everybody's budget. But
No,
I actually believe that even if the RG92 is above what you're prepared to spend on a food, there is something in the range that is equally
exactly
in the price range to all your other Japanese foods that are coming in.
Yeah.
As we were talking before, wasn't we, Dave, about where it prices in the market?
Yeah.
And actually,
yeah.
Go on, Dave.
Well, if you look at the range there, take the RG92 out of the equation, it more than competes with your JPD, Shori, or Shogun, and all the rest of them. In fact, some of them are actually better priced. So I do believe there's a food for everybody's budget, regardless. Yeah, unless you want to use the Cockney Koi peaches and cream, well, then you're never going to switch to this anyway, are you?
I mean, when you're serious about feeding your fish, the thing for me was, and I said this before, one cat fits all diet is not something that belongs in the koi world, in my opinion. Right?
Don't think so either.
And you see an array, and it was so transparent. I was like, at last, it's like come to us, because sake don't share their ingredients, not properly. They put on the bag what they're supposed to put on the bag, but you don't know the ins and outs of what's in a sake food. It's fairly secret. You've gone out there and spilt the beans.
There's a good question there, Crafty.
Yeah.
Discover Koi, is it?
Okay, let's bring that up. Hi, Dave, Crafty. Hope you're both well. I'm good now, thank you. Why should I choose this over JPD or Sake Akari? Very interested. And it's Owen from Norwich. So you'd probably know him, Dave.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Owen.
Yeah, he's from Norwich. That's how they speak over there, Dave.
I don't think anybody's saying that you should choose it over it, but I think it's another option to try and see how it. Because as Theo has said, we don't know yet until we've used it.
What, Theo? Why should they choose your brand over any other brand?
Well, what's the worst can happen?
Yeah, well, you know, why would they choose my brand over any other brand? I can only tell you that what I've done is I've done my utmost to get the very best ingredients into a pallet of koi food. And if that is also, if it works for you, then it's fine. I'm not going to say that this is the best food, or, I mean, come on. But but I believe that after these 4 months that we are now experiencing in the Netherlands, I can read you apps that I get from people that make me blush. Their experience. So give it a try. Give it a try. And if it's, because if you're a serious, like Discover Koi seems like a serious guy, JPD Saki Kairi. He will know in 4 weeks' time, maybe in 2 weeks' time, if it's good or if it's nothing.
And that's the bottom line. I would say, if you was to ask me why you should choose that over Saki and JPD, I would say based on the transparency that's been provided through Theo's marketing, that there's been no stone unturned. The information's there for you to look at, right? And it's coming in at an affordable price range, but it's not, like I said earlier, a one cat fits all. It is a range of food that is designed to put a meal in your pond at the right level. But there's been a lot of intelligence put behind the food, in my opinion. Right, and it's not because I sell it. This is my own opinion, right? And that's why I put it on my shelf, because I like to get behind brands that I believe in. I'll cover this question in a moment, mate, because I've got something lined up for you, Owen, just so you know. But that I would say do that. And actually, from people that I know that are very good customers of mine, that I see regular updates from, Colin Holland being my main culprit, but put it this way, Theo, he has put 45 kilograms of food into his pond since the launch, right? And that's how serious Colin is, right?
That's serious.
We was battling, because Colin and I work fairly closely together. We was battling water clarity issues, and Colin runs a really decent filtration system, amongst other things. And one thing he likes to do is feed his fish. And I've tried to stop him, slow him down, because we've seen issues with another koi food through feeding. It wasn't, let's say it wasn't, I couldn't say for certain what it was, but when I started to break down ingredients and stuff and start to work out what was going on with his fish, amongst other people, I was like, that is where the problem lies, in my opinion. And then your food hit the market, and I said, try this. And mate, his fish they've been moored. They want the food, and we haven't got the RG92, which Colin's paid for, ready for it, but they want the food. His water clarity has really cleared up. It went from quite a cloudy water to the best his water's looked for the last 2 years, actually. And skinless looks good. Growth I can't say, because his fish are fairly big anyway. It's like when I go to see his pond, I'll go, no doubt I'll go, fuck me, you've been feeding the fish, because you don't see it yourself, right? It's like watching
somebody that feeds 45 kilos is a bit like me. So that's no, but it is true. I mean, when I spoke for the first time with Chris Giles, that is what he mentioned immediately. I mean, does it keep your water clear? And I said, yeah, well,
I
think so.
Yeah, you're right, Chris. And I had the same thing, because the first thing that people look at is their water clarity, right? Because
absolutely,
they don't really care what's happening with the fish. If it turns the water tea stained or it goes too cloudy, that they're bothered that they can't see the fish properly. Well, so when we see them results, it makes a massive difference, doesn't it?
Well, I can tell you one. I'm not going to name it, but just to give you an example, I feed balance and quite a lot. Well, there's one system off site that we've been feeding that all year. Just under 3.5 weeks ago, I had a few sacks of another food that we used to sell, and I wasn't going to.
Yeah.
And I've used that, and I can't see 6 inches down in that water now.
Wow. And people won't put that in their pond, will they? Because of that. No. Let's get back to the question.
And I believe, okay.
No, go on, Theo.
Yeah, well, what I mentioned is, for instance, in my growing facility, it's the first time I have clear water. So, and there's a lot of food going in.
Well, we saw that on Seabay's setup, in fairness, didn't we? Because he was.
Yeah, Seabay is he's a sort of nuts. He does 5% of the body weight.
I know. Yeah.
But he's going to publish his results on Sunday. But I know already that it's quite okay.
Yes, it's Seabay. For those people that haven't seen, have a look at Seabay's pages. He's been doing a Momotaro grow on KiGen.
Matsue.
Sorry, Matsue, not
Matsue. Yeah.
And
I think wasn't it 6% body weight?
Again, Dave.
Wasn't it 6% body weight or 5? Did he go?
5%.
Yeah, I thought 5, but could be 6.
Yeah.
But it's
put it this way: the results were good based on what we've seen.
Yeah.
Carlos Fidalgo, if I've said your name correctly, I hope so. He obviously knows.
Yeah, we know him as Mexico,
right? So his grow facility. So I see Theo's ponds in his grow facility, and it's always a pleasure to see how Theo does it as a real hobbyist with passion for koi. You know, there you go. That's somebody. What was he called?
Mexikoi.
Mexikoi.
But he's a good guy.
There used to be an advert.
Carlos.
With them
his name is Carlos.
Carlos Fandango's wheel.
Karina Wright asks, would a mix of growth, balance and colour as separate foods be a good mix ratio depending on weather and season, weather being sun and rain and season, or just one food? Apologies if it's confusing. It's not confusing. What she's asking is, should she mix any of the range, Theo, to get the results?
No, there's no need. Only what Dave mentioned. What you could do is if you go from your winter spring food, the manju, to the summer food, could be the Kinzai, could be the RG92, then it would make sense to mix it a bit in a period of 4 weeks to get them used to the new food. But you don't need. I mean, I see it with many people now. I mean, the coloring, the shine on the koi. You don't need a color food.
I hope that answers your question, Karina.
So, Theo, how much color food, how much spirulina and color additives do you put in your food? Is it?
I think that depends. That depends on the food. So there's difference. So the Kinzai is 6%, I think.
Do you want me to bring this up?
Yeah.
So are you restricted European-wise up to 5% color enhancers?
Yeah, 5. I think 5, yeah.
And yet sake color must be, what, 20%? So how do you compete with a product made overseas that can then be shipped in?
A product, yeah, well, I bet it's better to turn it around. How can you compete with a product that's made in Europe against a product with all the... I think if you do all the shipping and all of that, yeah.
It's just like an unfair playing field, though, isn't it? So you're limited to what you can put into a food, yet another food can be manufactured outside Europe and then shipped in, and there's no restrictions.
Yeah, but still, I mean,
I'm not. The cost is different.
I think so, but I would like to put my 5% against. I wouldn't mind doing that at all. I see the results. It's amazing. No, truly.
Yeah. No, that's good. Well, we'll do it next year. We'll be on it.
No pressure, Rick.
Yeah.
I think the answer to that, Rick, is that you can't, but you have to pay such a big premium to get those levels that are coming from Japan, just simply because of the way that it's exported into the UK with all their transport costs. It's like it's next to impossible to do that. But if we was to have sake akari produced in Europe without all the additional fees on top, that food would be cheaper, wouldn't it?
It should, yeah.
You think so anyway.
So Coppins used to do the JDP foods. I don't get how, obviously, if they had a higher level of colour enhancers in their food, it's done under license. How does that even work? Is that I'm just putting it out there because I don't know. But if you imagine, so you're a brewery, you're brewing Guinness in Africa, so you're using Guinness's, yeasts and whatever to produce a bit. Or so if you're manufacturing sake akari in a factory in Europe, but they stipulate you've got to use 20%. I don't get how that work around the regulations. Does it? I don't know. Is that maybe why they don't do it anymore? I don't know. It just seems you're sort of you tie. Well, I don't know. Just mad. Why can you only put 5% colour enhancers into a fish food in Europe?
Well, with anything in Europe, mate, they've got to put something in order to control what you're doing. For why is it that they do certain things with chicken, or you're not allowed to that you can in the States? People in the States look all right eating chicken, don't they?
It'll probably be some wacky law that if it gets into the watercourse or into
something bizarre that you don't need.
Yeah.
Vinny Coy asks Theo, is the smaller KiGen food more digestible than the larger one, or does it not matter when using the KiGen food?
It matters a lot because the smaller food is 3 millimeter, and that's only for Tosai, and it is 45% protein. So you shouldn't use that other than for Tosai. So digestibility is, of course, less because there's more protein in it. Is more difficult than if it's 38%. But you don't. The food size doesn't really matter. It's more that you use it for the smaller food is for Tosai and the larger food is for Nisai and above.
Did you find that obviously the way you describe feeding the fish, you imagine everyone that's grown Tosai to be growing them quickly as they perhaps at 23 degrees, 24 degrees, and giving them an environment where they're growing a centimetre a week. But what happens to the people that are unheated and grow in Tosai much slower? Should they use?
A good question. There's an absolutely is a great question. The food is not suited for that. So we designed the food for this Tosai food, typically for grow-up facilities indoors. So I wouldn't recommend this food. Yeah, or in a lesser quantity. So you could use that, but then you have to feed less, because otherwise it's not going to. You need 23 to 24 degrees to get an optimum, and that's why it's developed also for inside. And you have to be honest about that. So, and this is why I'm coming back to distributors. So I hope that they'll be honest about that as well to their customers. That it doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm
just gonna.
That's why it's developed.
I'm going to share your brochure again, Theo. I can find it.
But this, for instance, Rick, could be a development in the future that we would be developing something like that, a Tosai food for Tosai that grow outside, or say at 18 degrees or 20.
So when you're seeing,
you can do it.
So again, one thing that I liked about this food is that it comes with. Let's just take that off, Vinny. Sorry, mate, because I don't want to cover Rick. It comes with the ability to show what the feeding regime or body weight ratio for food is, and I think when you start getting down to low temperatures, it really tells you what percentage, and it's minimal. So when we're seeing,
correct. So it's a bit like a KP treatment. You have to know what you do with Tosai.
But this when you look at the other foods, every food has got a feeding regime attached with it, which again shows that the thought process in this is there. It tells you exactly what you should be doing, but let's face it, most of us don't weigh fish. Most of us, most of us just throw food in and then let the fish eat it, and then bear the consequences when they can't digest it. And that's what I've seen from other brands recently, is that guidance wasn't there.
But there is. If you haven't got them high temperatures, you can surely just switch to one of the other foods anyway that's got the lower protein.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're dealing with. So our biggest sellers are growth food. It doesn't matter how many times you tell people that you want 24 degrees or whatever,
they'll still want growth.
They still buy the growth food in
Yeah.
in May or whatever.
Yeah.
And their ponds are 18 degrees and their fish are not suitable for growth food. And you think we should be buying like a balance or a colour food.
Yeah.
But the growth, it says it, they're just going to buy growth food. They're going to, doesn't matter. You could literally wrestle it out of their hands and they'll fight you for it because they're going to buy growth food.
Well, I think this has been the marketing over the years, Rick. We've always had a winter food, wheat germ you must feed, and then a normal food, all season food, if you like, and then you've got a growth food that you must get onto as soon as the sun pops its head out. And then everybody's on growth food, but their ponds are only at 16, 17 degrees. And this is why I still think we see so many koi that they're just, the bellies on them are just
insane.
Yeah, it's the feeding regime that's been wrong.
And
I truly believe. Sorry, Rick.
No, I'm just saying that this is people buy because they're led to believe.
Yeah,
you've got to be growing your fish. You've got to be doing this. And actually, we need to get the information out there that if there is this, you don't need to feed more than 20% protein through these temperatures to still get the maximum from your fish, to still get the fish looking good.
Yeah.
If the dart's correct, Yeah.
Well, I think we've always had this thing that protein's got to be, I mean, the first thing people do when they come into there and go, I need something with more protein in. This has got like 40% or whatever. And they'll go, I want something that's higher, much higher. And I just don't think they realise that you could have 100% protein, but it's going to do the fish no good. They're not going to take it on board anyway.
No, because then we go back to this Liebig barrel.
Yeah.
If the proteins are from a poor quality, then the fish can't digest it anyway, and it goes as waste in your pond.
Yeah. So you're just spending money.
So it's better. Exactly. So it's better to have a lower protein that is actually used by your koi.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, this shows here the difference in protein values. When you look at the net protein content, right, it shows the different protein values, about 6 or 7 down in the rows. And you can see that not only the protein source is different, but the percentage of protein is different based on the food that you're buying, which has got an individual job. And again, that is the thought process, and that's why I got behind it. That's like, for me, I was like, perfect. It's doing what so many brands don't do, and I think that's what makes it stand out. And again, that's just my opinion and why I've put our shop's money behind it, But Clive Steers asks, what percentage of RG92 is in a 10 kilo bag in grams? What percentage in grams?
It's minute, isn't it?
It's minute. I can't share it. To be honest, I'm transparent.
Well, that's your.
It is minute. Yeah, but it's like, so although we have an exclusive for, as you say, mass production of this food. I mean, you even hear. I mean, I don't know whether you saw the interview of Siebe with Kentaro.
Even he wouldn't disclose it.
And even he wouldn't disclose it because I don't want this RG92 coming in from another route, because you need so little of it that you can easily put it in a suitcase, for instance. And so but it's not much, but it's exactly according the demands of the manufacturer. So
I
understand the question totally.
How much influence does the manufacturer have on how you put that food together?
a big influence. Yeah, because we have to, because it's also their brand.
Of course.
So
you need people to buy it, and they need people to buy it to make it.
Yeah, so their influence is substantial. I mean, I cannot just do what I like.
But you also can't just make a food. You can put all your ingredients together, but actually when they try and process it, it won't
work. Yeah,
a food that is a pellet that works through their machines. You've got to have enough binders and enough certain materials that they know that to make a pellet become a pellet. Otherwise, you just get
exactly.
So we got
a lot of support from them.
Well, that's what I expected you to say, Theo. I was just putting it out there for everyone else, you know.
Yeah. Correct.
In the carp, Chess Bowen says, "Hello. In the carp fishing world, we use LT94 in our bait, etc. Is there a reason in the koi world we don't use it?" So,
I've had this question also in the Netherlands, and I'm not even aware of LT94.
No,
it's
so
an in-between temperature. So it's not as low temperature as you process your fish,
which would mean that it doesn't hold as much value. Yeah.
Yeah. What I wonder, I mean, these ingredients are like commodities, so you have to look at it like oil or grain, so these prices are global prices. So it is not so difficult to find the price for LT71, and you'll be stunned by, whoa, that expensive. But LT94, I've never come across it. And if it is so much better, it would be totally unaffordable. I mean, and if you use it as bait for carp,
it's cheaper. It's not better.
It has to be cheap.
It's cheaper.
And LT71 is outrageously expensive.
Go on, Rick.
But it's the lowest. So 70 degrees is the lowest temperature you can sterilize and create a food. This is why if you cook a bit of beef or something, 70 degrees is where you can make sure it's safe but still be almost raw, because you're just hitting that magic marker. The higher you go, you can take any. The higher you go, the quicker it is to make it usable in the food chain. So most fishermen will be taken up to 100 plus degrees. So you sterilize it, but you also lose valuable nutrients from it, and then you dry it and off it goes. But fish meal was cheap back in the day. I remember 30 years ago, it was cheap. It was a waste product from Peru that just come en masse. But now it's a resource the world's running out of, isn't it? So it becomes more expensive, and the more
absolutely
care you take processing it, it becomes even more expensive, to the point of it's a product that all the big manufacturers almost can't use, because it's not something. So they're looking for horse bean meal, feather meal, brewer's yeast meal, whatever they can find to create a protein that's a waste product again, that's cheap or renewable or whatever. So yeah, Europe have got different rules. The stuff we used to buy from China, the squid meal, krill meal, like krill meal is going to become elite. It's almost, I think in European foods, it's just you can't use it anymore because it's such a resource that is running out. But obviously what you can do in China is different to what you can do in Europe or wherever.
There you go. That's a full answer. Comprehensive is the name. What a word. Ollie King asks, obviously koi can digest a lot of protein, but do you think there's a point where it's just pointless adding more in an already formulated food?
That's a good question, and I would say no. So there's no point in adding more than what the koi can digest. And this is why this RG92 is so exciting, because it stimulates the gut bacteria, and that should be able to digest more food, but never give more food than a koi can digest. Never.
Why when we see protein at 40%, 38%, whatever, and we're feeding in wrong temperatures and we're feeding copious amounts, why is it important that we only put the right amount of protein into a food during those? What happens when a fish? I'm trying to think of the right question, but when a fish is absorbing the protein and there's too much protein, what happens to that? Why is it important that we get that balance correct?
Yeah, I think ultimately it will stay in the gut too long, and it will cause all sorts of health problems. I will sort out what sort of health problems, but I'm 100% certain that is the result. 100%.
That is a result. It also turns into waste.
Rick, there's another problem. Too much ammonia. So if you're feeding too much protein, they use the protein as energy, and then they use that so they excrete a lot more ammonia than they would if they take the right amount of protein for muscle building and growth and use carbohydrates and the other stuff for energy. So you get basically extra every 1% of protein you feed above what they can deal with, you're just creating more ammonia because they're using that as an energy source. So you're basically creating more. You're paying more money to create more waste with no gain whatsoever.
And that's why this digestibility is so important.
And on top of that, when a fish struggles to digest, what happens inside the gut is that nasty bacteria starts to grow, and that's when you start.
It's a rotting process.
And that's the reason why we harp on about right temperatures, right food, etc. Because so many people use sake akari growth without having the right parameters. Because unheated ponds are constantly fluctuating in temperatures. And people first thing in the morning, growth, there you go. The water temperature may only be 16 degrees. The fish will eat it, but you're not getting the best out of your food. All you're doing is wasting your money, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
So good question, Ollie. Ollie works for me, Theo, in the koi department.
All right.
So
clever guy.
You make him feed low protein food all year round, don't you? It's right.
Have some wheat germ. Question for Rick. You may understand this more than me. Does he use Bacillus subtilis?
Yeah, well, kind of, yeah. Secrets. Yeah, so basically, sake akari has got the patent on there.
Pre and probiotic.
Yeah. So, but there's loads on the market that are usable one way or another. The health is just one of those things, isn't it? So, yeah, I can't use and I can't buy what sake akari use, but I can buy very, very similar and have a similar effect to what they do. But obviously, again, how do you quantify me putting my product in on a food after it's manufactured, given to fish, to what their food does?
There you go. Good answer.
It is, sake akari is the gold standard. So at the end of the day, if I can do a food trial and then if I can use RG92 against it and it comes out equal or better, phenomenal. Nothing I've ever used has come out close to it yet, because it just the way the fish feed on it, the way the fish do on it, and I'd love to use a food that can match it or beat it. The FD Dainichi food was the closest so far, but it was the same price. So you kind of just swapping one for another, isn't you? You're not. Yeah, I'm waiting for this and I'll keep trying every food on the market because innovation comes along, and at the end of the day, what they put in their food is not rocket science, and what they manufacture it for is not expensive. It's only expensive in England because of all the other add-ons. The food, they're manufacturing that food for, well, I'm not going to say, but you can buy it in Japan a lot cheaper, and they're manufacturing a lot cheaper. But by the time it gets here, it's bloody expensive.
Too expensive. I was looking at N20, the breakdown in the ingredients in that, and the Sake N20 has not even got the probiotic germ in it, and you're paying £50 more a bag.
So maybe that's not what's special in it. But we don't know what's special, do we?
Well, I know, but you know, when I was looking, I was like, Jesus Christ, there's another 50 quid on a bag for a bigger pellet, and you're not even got that little bit of special that they offer. But hey, sorry, Theo, I didn't mean to go into another brand there.
No, but at the end of the day,
no worries.
If he's got a food that is good, it will compete with it, and it will great, isn't it? That's what we want. We want choice. We want a food as good as another food
that we can afford.
Better.
That's what we want.
Why can't it be better? That's what I don't get. It can be better.
Maybe you can't get it better. Carlos says, this is your Mexican dude. I have used other brands over 5 years before I began to start using KiGen.
Oh, there's Carlos again.
This year, Jari's year, I suppose. This year,
yeah,
and the results are much better, and I am pleased as a hobbyist for his koi. You know, that's somebody that is doing it. Obviously, a friend, so maybe a little bit biased. I'll be fair in saying that.
Yeah, well, having true. So, but I get a lot of that nowadays. So I think, and you may. I mean, I'm not gonna. I mean, obviously, I'm not. But I think Sake Kari is indeed the gold standard. But the N20 is maybe not so gold.
We like that.
We'll have a bit of fight.
But I'm saying this not. I'm not saying this as a producer of koi food, but as a hobbyist.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Lee Boy Koi asks, if you have mixed size fish and only one pond, what would you consider to be the best food to feed, Theo?
All of them you can feed because it's only a 6 millimeter pellet. So the only exception is tosai, small tosai. So you could actually start feeding tosai, well, or a small nisai with all of the foods because it's all 6 millimeters. So from nisai to whatever.
What he's asking is what's the best all-round food?
If you've got a mixture of fish.
If you've got a mixture of different size fish, yeah.
The manju food is the best all-round food.
Yeah.
Because it enhances color, it enhances the health. It's only 28% of protein, so you can use it low temperature, high temperature, big koi. I think is a great food.
I like that's good. I see most people wouldn't. I like that.
No, would never say that. 28% protein. No, but it's actually. So we were debating. So myself and Rene, the guy that actually knows about food or how to design it, and he was challenging me to go below that. And I might do that in the future. So, but I would like to talk to people like yourself, Rick, and others to see. I mean, because we are developing the range. I mean, we've just started, and I hear so many good things about. You mentioned about tosai food for tosai that they are not in conditions that are ideal. Maybe there's something you need another food with a lower protein, for instance. But also this is manju food. He was challenging me to go below 25%, and I say, yeah, well, because I know the koi world, like you mentioned yourself, everybody wants to grow food. And I thought, if I go below 25, that's maybe a bit too much. But in the future, when we really, in the winter time, so this winter and so over the winter, I'm going to do some seminars in the Netherlands, and hopefully together with SKS, I would love to do it also in the UK, trying to educate people more about koi food and have a debate with people and get this thing moving on these lower proteins, because I think it makes a lot of sense.
Well, we'll look forward to the invite for that, mate. I'll be there if it's open.
You're more than welcome. More than welcome.
Another good question I've just seen from Owen again. What aspects of koi development do you think are often overlooked when people choose a food? As Crafty with our yellow monkey and Dave Haku show for us, growth is not everything. So basically, Owen bought a monkey off me, a yellow monkey, Ginring Crasher Koi, last season. It was on about, growth. It's like, for me, I think people can push too hard too quick and destroy a fish if they don't know what they're doing, especially. But I think that you keep it slow and steady and you accelerate at the right levels. For me, I think what people overlook is what they want to achieve with a food, because like when you look at the Tozai range that you've brought out in the KiGen, it's explosive growth. When you look at what a fish does in its early years, it wants to get big quick because of survivability. In a predatory environment, it gets bigger, less chance of it getting eaten by the next biggest fish. So they explode their growth. So if you feed that fish in that period with explosive growth but keep its qualities, and then start to move to a food for the size of the fish, I think that is what everyone just sticks to the same thing all the time. Objective is key in a food, in my opinion. That's where I go with it.
Yeah, and retain the skin quality.
Slow and grow,
I think. Yeah.
Go on, Rick. What's your growth? Like,
mate,
watch it grow.
Mate, we sell all our fish by the time they're 2 years old, don't we? So
Rick has a different reason. He has to get them there, don't you, Rick, to get them sold? You're going from this. You need to go quick. But I think the average person is trying to go far too quick.
But Rick doesn't actually. With some of the stock that he keeps back for his Nisai, you don't necessarily push them, Rick, do you?
Yeah, but that's also if you grow the wrong fish too quick, you devalue them. So you need to say slow and steady. Those fish look much better, and they'll last for years in people's ponds looking nice. But you push them for 3 weeks at the wrong time, and you ruin them, and they're worthless for forever. They're done, isn't it? You can't get that Benny back on a Kahaku. You can't get that pattern back on a Kajaku. If you break it, you're broken it. It's gone. Isn't it?
Yeah.
But just see the question back up. With aspects of koi developments, what do you think is often overlooked when people choose a food?
Bone structure.
What is overlooked?
Bone structure is the key in it. And people go for colour and growth, but actually growth doesn't mean bone structure. It just means bigger, quicker.
Big, quick, a lot of the time.
I think the biggest thing that's overlooked is too many people go for growth on growth food. Let's use sake for an example. They'll just overlook balance and think, well, balance, I need growth.
Nobody wants balance. We want bigger.
This is it.
Balance is the best, in my opinion, with a little bit of colour thrown in.
I've been speaking to Ogata recently. They feed nothing now but balance on all their fish now. Balance.
They'll be feeding KiGen soon.
Yeah. Well, he's already using the RG92 in
He is. He used it in his spawning set, didn't he?
Yeah, and he's doing it.
Yeah.
They're doing it sort of experimental, and they're doing it as a test, so they can weigh out X amount of eggs from the same parent and introduce and well, time will see what the results are. I shall hear the results when I go out there. When
because we was talking to.
I mean, Rick, you still don't know how that works, do you? By putting it into the sperm and into the, you don't know how that can.
I don't know how you can affect a sperm with a bit of algae to make it more active to fertilize.
Yeah, actually, it's quite the thing that the inventor of the RG92 mentioned.
Did he?
To start, he did. Yeah.
So I spoke to Edgy from Marachiku the other day, and they're putting it. He said you can put it in the water to fish transport better. And it's like, well, I mean, you can put it in the water and the fish transport, or you put it in the sperm and the fish are more fertile. You feed it to your parents and you don't get more eggs. It's like, Jesus Christ. I'm trying to buy this stuff.
Yeah, but the thing is, there's so much good things being said by different people, right? The Japanese,
absolutely.
You know, the Japanese are using it in different format, and they're all keeping it fairly secret what they're doing.
They do, and I know from a number of breeders in Niigata. I was there in October, and we noticed some of the huge Nisai that and now we sort of got word that they are also using RG92, and but they keep it a secret indeed. But it's not going to last long, I think.
Well, I think that's out the bag now, Theo. That's your fault.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
They've all got shares in the company. That's what it is.
Yeah,
well,
it's going to cost them.
There's positives everywhere in it, so hopefully
there's no negatives.
Market, you know, if they're seeing good things, why can't we? That's all I can say on it.
In 5 years' time, all those fish turn into the Hulk. They will turn green and go.
Ian Ather-Smith asks, when will we see it on the shelves at the local dealers? So I'm going to answer this one. We've worked with SKS, and it is being released to select dealers, because if it floods the market, it loses its appeal. But it also, when I was talking to Chris, it becomes a price war too much. Everyone undercuts everyone, and it reduces.
And then you ruin the product.
Absolutely do. So we've agreed, or Chris has agreed, that he will only do it to certain dealers across the UK that will be strategically placed. So it's available to everyone. However, I will share another screen because this also will pop up, which is not that one. I'll come back to that one. NND Morley asks, what is the price of the food, along with a couple of others. So I'm just going to share another screen. I think it. Oh, he says he's going to share it. There you go. So it is available on Dave's website, Coastal Koi. Okay, and the prices you can see on there. So if you want to investigate it more, Dave's got it on his website. There you go, Dave, for you, mate. Keep it fair.
Thank you.
And we also have got it on our website, which I will share for continuity, because I'm good like that, which is that one. So again, if you go on to Perfect Aquatics website, we've also got the range on there as well. You can even get £5 off.
We get 5% off.
Oh, sorry, Dave. That was so, and if you missed it, I have also done a price comparison against Nutrimare and also Sakiakari across the whole range, and it actually comes out very affordable. with regards to other brands out there, because I wanted to put a bit of a button up on people saying that it can't be, as you know, it comes in more dearer than Sake Akari, etc., and it doesn't come anywhere close. So do you I think it was it on the last episode we done, Dave, when I think I brought that up right at the start of the show.
Yeah, I think you did. Yeah.
So if you want to have a look back, please do. I have invited Paul Cunningham on the show, but he obviously hasn't seen the link. He's asking, will I be selling the KiGen food at the North of England Koi Show on the 8th and 9th of August? The question, or the answer to that question is yes, I will, Paul. I will certainly be bringing some up. It will be limited stock, but because I want to bring more fish than dry goods. So, of course, I'll bring some of that up. While we're on that subject, North of England Koi Show, 8th and 9th of August. I did ask Paul to come on to give a bit of promo. I'll try and get another live done next week or something.
He's probably on his whiskey.
Yeah, he's on his second bottle now. Probably.
I was going to say it's too late. It's too late to get any common sense from Paul now.
But good little show up in Sutherland. Lee Hadfield and I are dealing from there. Come along, really good. Well, looking at what they've done this year, there's some really good stuff on. I will get some more promo out. I think we should do another mini live in the week, Dave, if you're up for it.
Yeah, do a minute, because I would love to be here next Friday, but I'll be en route to France.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Yeah, fishing trip.
So Vince has stated the results to Rick's last food trial is on Twisted Koi's YouTube channel. I hope you're well, Vince. Tony B3077. That sounds like something that Elon Musk would name his kid. The koi hobby will only evolve if we continue to try new products. Stay in your lane or take the leap. I will be taking the leap. There you go, mate. So we've got one new customer for you, Theo. That's good. Thank you very much, Tony. Appreciate that.
If we all stood still, nothing would ever progress, would it?
It wouldn't, mate. It wouldn't.
No.
I think I've exhausted all the questions.
The world would still be flat.
And wheels would be triangular. Well, you can't call it a wheel, can you?
Yeah, you wouldn't have a speeding ticket then.
I'm just going to bring up this short little video again, all right, just to put it into your mind. Theo, this little 1 minute excerpt clip, who is it? The Japanese, what we played at the beginning. Who is the person speaking?
This Kotaro from Sakai Fish Farm. I think you mean him?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's totally clear.
So just have a quick look. It's only 1 minute. Just to excuse the dogs, the missus just come home. Have a listen to what he has to say, because he was caught on the op. It wasn't a planned question.
So we started using RC92 from last year.
Yes.
And we mix it with the pellet food.
Okay.
And also we mix it to the paste food.
Also do your face that you make yourself.
Right.
Yes.
And we feed it for any kind of fish, jumbo tosai to big fish.
Yes. And what do you notice? What is the result?
I think fish eating RC92, the growing speed is faster than not using it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is that because of do you know a reason for that?
I think fish tend to eat more amount of food.
Okay. Well, interesting. Yeah, that's all I want to ask. And I want to thank you for your good care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think that says it all. You know, that's coming from one of the leading Japanese breeders in the world, which we all wish we could afford his fish. We can't.
eBay put a video out this week as well, didn't he, with his dad?
That was interesting, wasn't it?
Intro and whatever, saying
Very.
about spawning and feeding it.
Very.
Rick, 30 million fry.
Yeah, there's two things you can take from that video about the food and the amount of fry. But you should watch it and maybe take, because we had someone come into our shop and say, "Oh, they're fed out of G92 and they've got twice as many eggs and best year ever." But they've also done their spawners differently, so it's not a clear cut. It's not a clear cut thing, but yeah, it's amazing to hear 30 million fry going out.
First time they strip their eggs, isn't it?
So yeah, they do more fish than I've done. So I've done it for 30 years, and in another 30 years, I'll have done the same number of fish they've done in 1 year.
I watched it quickly, Rick. Was it 700,000 from one set?
From the bigger parents, yeah.
700,000 fry.
Yeah.
Or eggs.
You imagine some of the big parents of 50, 60 pound fish, and they'll drop.
Not 7,000. Sorry, it was
700 pounds of eggs.
700,000, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So they can do 750,000 eggs from one big female.
I'll just get a couple of fish to sell. Charge you an arm and a leg for it.
You can so see why he can produce so many Sankey with good patterns, or Kahakus with good patterns and everything, with that amount of spawning that he's doing. And
if you put that into my reality, and honestly, so he's using better fish, and he's doing everything I've done in the last 30 years, and I'm doing the next 30 years in 1 year.
Yeah, in 1 year. It's incredible. Yeah.
Wow,
there's something wrong with it. Turn up with it, man. Yeah.
Yeah. And he said he gets up in the morning and makes breakfast for his 20 staff that will be grading fish all day.
So do you do that, Rick?
I get up in the morning and grade fish all day, but I haven't got 20 staff. Yeah, different world.
Yeah.
Same world, different place, different planet, different.
Right, I'm going to wrap up, guys, because we've been going for 3 hours and 10 minutes, and time flies. So I would like, before we go, Dave, you've released a koi auctions thing on your YouTube page. Have you got any dates when you're going to be going live for that?
No, well, we're going to be away from the shop's going to be closed for a week from next Friday. Once we're back from that trip there, we will then concentrate on then starting to do the live auctions. So
it's in the near future.
It's in the near future. We're just getting everything up and ready. So we're doing the intro and obviously getting signed up to StreamYard and doing all that business first. So we're ready to go. But we'll put all the announcements out on social media. But in the meantime, if people would like to subscribe, it all helps.
I love it. Let's get it.
You know, got a banner. Flash it up.
Yeah. Well, I'll have it for it as well, mate.
I would like, please subscribe.
So, yeah, those people watching from my channel, subscribe to Coastal Koi and also New Forest Koi. Theo, have you got a YouTube channel for KiGen?
Yes, actually we do. So, but it's not mature yet. So it's starting.
We'll grow it together.
Yeah. Sounds like a plan.
So
yeah, we do.
I'm assuming it's KiGen.
It's KiGen.
Right. So search it up on YouTube, find a channel, subscribe to it, and no doubt you will see lots of stuff in foreign languages that you won't understand, but at least you'll see the fish, which is really cool. Rick, what have you got lined up for the near future? Anything?
Eat my dinner.
No, business related.
Oh, Crafty, a quick.
We've shut. To be fair, we've kind of shut the web. We're trying to stop selling fish for a month because it's been too much. Yeah. So we've got to go. Everyone's needs some time off. So yeah, August is like kind of
holiday season.
Almost, yeah. So we've got festivals and fishing, and got a trip to France. Again with Dave.
Yeah.
Tell you.
Yeah. So more than welcome anytime, Rick. Crafty, another note. Obviously, everybody heard the news this week. Japan had an earthquake. Well,
yeah,
the farms I visit down south, Ogata, Okawa, and Ueno, I spoke to all them in the week, and they were not affected, and the farms are all okay, even though they did get shook about a little bit, but they're no collateral damage. And considering Ueno is based in Kumamoto, where the epicenter was, so yeah.
Okay. Well, from the videos that you shared, mate, I was really impressed that no water overlapped in the ponds.
Oh, I thought,
incredible.
One fish to go into another pond, and it's like
all down to management and pond levels. You see,
they've got it all lined up. I was surprised the ponds are on springs.
Yeah. 6.9 on the Richter scale. That's okay. If they get any more, they have to go a little bit lower.
So what have I got lined up? Next weekend, I'm at Sunderland, the North of England Koi Show. We'll do a little live in the week, Dave. I think we'll bring Paul on and we'll do a bit of promo on that. So keep your ear to the ground for that. We are going to be launching next week new WhatsApp sales, a new format for WhatsApp sales that I've been working on. So if you're not part of our WhatsApp group, look at Perfect Aquatics WhatsApp group, and if you're part of it, invite people across. Same for Dave's. Are you doing anything on your WhatsApp, Rick?
We will do again.
It's
brewing.
It's brutal anyway, isn't it? And we've just released another. So we do competitions, Theo, as well for people. So we've just released a couple of new competitions. I'll just share that up now because these are always a big hit. We're hoping to be able to do a KiGen one very soon, Theo.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So the koi food ones do really well. We've got a Sake Akari food special going on that's just been launched. The middle one, Otsuka Kiyotsuuri, hand-selected in Japan. These have been held back when they come back in February. I've kept these off sale, waiting for the right moment. So we're doing that. That's selling really well. £1.39 a ticket on that. Have a look into that. And the new one is the Tancho collection game. So if I click into this, people have already started playing. We only released it today. Basically, this is where there's loads of prizes to be won as always. But what you're actually looking for is different elements of the fish. If you land,
win a fin.
If you land a Tancho spot, it enhances a prize. Look into it. It's actually quite a decent little game, and for me, there's only 3 available. But if you then build the whole fish on it, you get millions of pounds. No, you don't get millions of pounds. But, it's a new take on the game that we're doing, and again, only released today. So have a look.
Nice.
Have a look. How do I stop this screen? Oh, down there. There we go. So have a look at that. That's what we've got coming up. So really bloody busy at the minute. Hopefully the weather cools a little bit and lets our fish start to enjoy their ponds and food and grow a bit.
One more shout out. The guys at Yasu again. Excellent. New colour. Carly said it might not fit because it was a designer slim fit, but Carly, fits perfect.
Turn round, Dave. Look at that. It's mint.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Hang on, should we get it
everywhere, isn't it?
Should we get it up? Not that, Dave. Right, so those people that aren't aware, Yasu Koi, they're our favourite people for doing merch.
Yep.
There we go. Look at this. Look. I'll tell you what, I'm getting a bit whiz at this now. If you go over to collaborations on their website, right, you'll see they do my merch, they do Mr. Koizumi merch, the Northeast Koi Club, Vince at Twisted Koi, Up North Koi Pond Exclusively Koi, Lee Hadfield Koi Soldier, and the Koi Show Live, which is the one that you want. They do it in 3 different colours, I think. If you click on it, look at that. Navy, khaki.
All this special.
You've got iron grey on, Dave. That's what you've got.
Special.
Iron grey. I quite like the khaki colour myself. Theo, as a gift from us to you, if you can just message me over what your t-shirt size is. And we will get you sent over a couple of t-shirts, mate.
Did yours turn
Oh, that would be awesome. But is it slim fit?
I'll get one specially made for you, mate. It's no problem.
No, but I saw 5XL, so I'll get there.
You'll go for the 5XL?
Did yours turn up?
No.
Yeah.
I'm going for the 4XL.
Okay, mate. I'll get you a couple. Are you going to the Koi show near you? Oh, which one? Seabay's there.
Not
the Appeltern. We have a stand. So
I'll see if I can get them to Lee, and then
because we are trying to persuade new distributors, but in other countries than the Benelux and the UK.
Okay.
So there's many Germans coming there.
That's right. Fine. That's what I say. I am an ex-soldier. I'm only having a joke, by the way. I'll get a couple sent over with Lee, hopefully. If not, we'll get them.
Yeah, that would be awesome. That would be. I'll wear them with pride. Really, absolutely mean that. I think you guys are doing an excellent job. I mean, we're here on the Friday evening talking about koi, and just as I mentioned, if you put 3 or 4 koi, because at the end of the day, we're all koi hobbyists. I mean, we could talk all night, couldn't we? About the hobby, and it's true.
Mate, Rick Wood, I'm surprised you went on the beer, Rick, to be perfectly honest, mate. But
he's got one there.
Theo, I will wish you all the best with the brand. I will hope to have you back on in the future, or we would.
Yeah.
Maybe not talk about KiGen food, but let's talk about koi in Europe, or anything.
Yeah, love to.
And then we'll keep it real. From the Koi Show Live, thank you for coming on, and I hope that your new venture goes well. We'll support you as much as we can. And
thanks for the invitation.
You're very welcome, Rick. Thank you for joining us as well, mate. I know it was a bit of a fastball. It was actually Dave's idea. He sent me a message saying get Rick on, so you can blame him, poke him in the eye.
Sorry, Rick. I was in the bath, mate, having a nice evening off.
And I've just heard from Paul Cunningham. He's up for doing a live in the week with us. So again, keep your ear to the floor.
I thought he'd be comatized.
When he's out of his coma. Yeah. Until next time, guys, thank you very much for everyone that joined in and participated.
Yeah, thanks.
There won't be a show next Friday because Dave's going to France and I'm obviously going up to the Koi show. But there will be one midweek. So until then, next weekend after, I think we've got Tim Waddington on.
Okay.
So, Tim will be spilling some beans on old times and new. So anyway, see you all again soon. Theo, don't go anywhere. We'll speak afterwards, mate. All right.
Thanks, Theo.
All right.
See you soon.
Cheers, everybody.
Yeah. Everybody.
Cheers, guys.
It's been a pleasure. No, it hadn't. I'm lying.
Likewise.